Good afternoon, one and all, and welcome to another episode here on the SitRep Podcast. I am your host, Risky Jim, and today I am joined by my friend Rasmus. Rasmus, how you doing?
Oh, not so bad. Getting into the cold season up here, but
that's true.
First
Up north,
snow
it's
last
getting up north, it's getting pretty chilly.
yeah, we had the first snow overnight, so.
Oh, cool, nice. You're making Jen jealous right now. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and kick off today's stream. What we're doing today, guys, is an 80th anniversary commemorative Panzer Leader game recreating part of Operation Torch. So we've talked about Operation Torch a few times on the show. Pretty much every November rolls around and we take a poke at either this, Chosin Reservoir, Tarawa. We do one of the big November battles. And this time, I definitely wanted to do Operation Torch because obviously it's the 80th anniversary of Torch. So, for anyone who may not be aware, Operation Torch is, sometimes I call it America is the world's greatest expansion team. The Americans are just entering World War II. I'll say World War II in Europe. Clearly, we're not in Europe. We're in North Africa here. But you guys know what I mean. There have been some ground battles that the Americans have fought so far over in the Pacific. Guadalcanal's already happened. Tulgi's already happened. Florida Islands already happened. There's been some pretty hard ground combat already in the Pacific. But for the U.S. Army over here in against the Western Axis, I'll call it, it's their first time at bat. And holy hell does it show. The Americans are definitely experiencing some teething troubles coming into, again, this half of World War II. But that's okay, because their first enemies are the Vichy French, thank God. If we had gone up our first time against the Germans, well, let's just say that when we do go up against the Germans in February of 1943, about 5 months from now in the timeline, those are some of the worst defeats in the history of the United States Army. So, enough said about that. Kesserine Pass, Sidi Bouzid. Kesserine Pass was like the end of the trilogy. The first one was Zablita, then Sidi Bouzid, and then Kesserine Pass. Holy crap. Sometimes history kind of lumps all those three together into Kesserine Pass. They're kind of like interconnected battles over the course of a really shitty week. It's a shit show. It's not pretty at all. Here in November of 1942, 5 months further back, the Americans are even worse. And again, it's not that anyone was afraid, well, there were plenty of people afraid, but it's not like the Americans were completely incompetent. They were just new. I mean, how well did the British do in 1940? How well did the Polish do in 1939? They didn't do well at all. The French completely fell apart, clearly. Nobody won against the Germans in 1940. So,
And,
go ahead.
The Germans in the invasion of Poland weren't the Germans that invaded Barbarossa.
This is also very true. The Germans were a little green around the gills in Poland even. Yeah, they took more losses than they should have. Yeah, I mean, we make it look really easy here in war games, but on the actual field, this stuff's really hard. Even when you're up against pretty weak opponents, it's all you can do to keep your men from shooting each other by mistake. Okay, so this is the overall situation in North Africa in early November 1942. Everyone knows about the Battle of El Alamein. Rommel has just been absolutely jungled 3 ways from Sunday over here at El Alamein. After 3 battles, he finally lost the last one really hard. That has kind of just happened. I think November 2nd, El Alamein officially is kind of decided, and then there's some rear guard actions that kind of sputter on through the rest of the week. But suffice it to say that the Rommel is in a hell-bent retreat, clear back across, all the way across Libya. He's not going to stop running until he gets to the Tunisian border here. Notice I did not move the Italian counter with him. That's because the Italians just got straight out abandoned. With precious few trucks the Afrika Korps, or I should say Panzer Army Africa, had left, the Italian ones, the Germans stole them and just ran away. They just abandoned the Italians to their fate. So they take a while, taking a couple 100,000 Italian prisoners. That's one of the reasons Rommel gets away. He basically used the Italians as prisoner shields. And by the time the British got this mess sorted out, Rommel had a pretty good head start on his retreat. So now the British are pushing back this way. Meanwhile, the Americans, and mostly Americans, but also some British, are landing on Rommel's back door in what was then French North Africa. So Morocco and Algeria, and at the time were, even Tunisia in fact, were in fact French colonies at the time. They were technically Axis powers. They were technically under administration and military occupation of the Vichy government. This is the part of France that the Germans chose not to occupy after the 1940 campaign. So France falls in 1940. The Germans sort of, not really, I'm not going to get into the whole politics because this, not only does it actually get some people upset even today, but it is just bewilderingly complex. So I'm just going to skip over all that stuff and go to the basics. When France falls in 1940, some of it is left alone, sort of. It's a puppet government is set up in a French city called Vichy, and they're left in charge of what's left of France that the Germans don't directly occupy, and at least supposedly all French colonies. Well, about half the French colonies across what was then the French Empire, almost as big as the British Empire, basically told the Vichy government, to go, jump in a lake, so to speak, and they became free French colonies. Some of them stayed as Vichy French colonies. Vichy was, at least legally, the legitimate government of France. And when you're in the military, you listen to the civilian government. That's what you're paid to do. So a lot of these guys, they don't really believe in it, but because obviously they're French, they don't want to work for or fight for the Germans. They damn sure don't want to die for the Germans. Nevertheless, they're taking orders from their legitimate installed government. So this becomes very complicated. When the Americans and British go to land in French North Africa, do they want to shoot at the French? They're trying to get the French back on side, and this is going to directly impact today's game. So the part that we're going to look at today is located here in this green box. So Western Task Force, Center Task Force, Eastern Task Force, with some British and some American troops in there. We try to land a bunch of forces in all these areas. Most of them go pretty well. They're largely unopposed because American ambassadors, military intelligence officers, the State Department, the British government, and so on, are reaching out to the French, especially a guy named Admiral Darlan, kind of behind the scenes, under the table, saying, look, guys, we're coming in heavy, but we don't want to use it. Please don't shoot at us, and we won't shoot at you. We're supposed to be on the same side. You don't have to work for the Germans anymore. We're coming in. We're going to liberate all this. We want you on our side. And then it was almost down to a case-by-case basis. Which officers said, okay, which officers said, no. I have orders from my appointed civilian authority, my national command authority, that basically says, get your tanks off my lawn. Sadly for the Americans, and also the Vichy French, this definitely happens here in what was General Luskin Truscott's 3rd Armored Landing Combat Team. It's the left wing of the Western Task Force under command of General Patton. You've probably heard of him. So Patton's got all 3 of these boxes. He's got split into 3 areas. These guys are landing at a place called Safi. These guys are landing at Casablanca. We've all heard of that. And these guys are landing at a place called Port Lauarty, which I probably just mispronounced, and we're going to take a look at today. So here is a expansion of Port Lauarty, and this is where you can see where the Americans were supposed to land, the dotted lines. They didn't even come close. This is not even being shot at by German MG-42s. They just don't know how to drive boats yet. Also, it's really hard to do this stuff. The landings are all over Hell's Creation. So nothing goes according to plan. Half the boats kind of bump into each other. They drop the troops in the surf. They drop the ships. They drop the troops too far out at sea, and they have to wade half a mile. They drop the troops too close to the shore, and now the boats have run aground. It's just a mess. It's an absolute train wreck. The area that we're going to be looking at it. Oh, it is. It's the first time that anyone's ever tried this before. At least the Americans. And with this equipment and these boats, it is the first time we've ever tried this before. Dieppe had happened in August, and Dieppe was an absolute shit show. And the British have tried a few commando raids. They weren't using these landing craft. They were using other boats to get there. They were never opposed. And when they were opposed, at places like, let me think, Saint-Nazaire, that was a failure. I mean, a lot of people like to point at Saint-Nazaire like some kind of big success. Losses are damn near total. Nobody comes home from that. I think 6 out of 300 commandos, I think 6 made it home through neutral Spain. And they blew up a target that frankly didn't matter. Nobody cares. The Tirpitz was never coming down to that dock, but that's way off topic. The point is, 1942, everybody, the British and the Americans, were trying out this new amphibious warfare thing. And yeah, it's tougher than it sounds. So the Americans were learning that the hard way here. The area in today's battle is outlined by this red box. And the main objective is this little fortress here called, I'm not kidding, the Kasbah, or technically Kasbah Medea. So, from what I understand, I don't speak the languages in this part of the world, so forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, everybody. Pretty sure Kasbah is like some kind of fortress. It's like a castle. It's not the 80s song that everyone likes, although I'm sure some of Rasmus's artillery is in fact going to rock the Kasbah, as they say.
We'll try our best.
This is what the Kasbah looks like today. This is not how it looked in 1942, because the Americans spent 3 days shooting holes in it with some pretty big guns. You can see where some of the rock and plaster and stone and brick patterns don't match. It's been restored since, but this place was pretty much flattened here in November 1942. So here is the map for today's game. Obviously, the map is sort of set at an angle to make the best use of our screen space here. Note that north is to the upper right. And then other than that, one modification, everything is pretty much set up the way it was historically. We're looking at 200-meter hexes here. We've got the Kasbah, we've got the lighthouse, we've got the actual town of Medea, although again, this town of Medea kind of stretches all the way. This whole little strip here is sort of considered Medea the city, or town. We have Port Laouti itself, Laouti, I keep saying that wrong. That's one of the objective hexes. There's a railroad that leads to the airfield, again, the lighthouse, the Kasbah, and this little crossroads out here to the southwest. So again, the map is kind of on its side. This is where the beaches were at least supposed to be. Yellow Beach is further here to the south, and then Red 1 Beach is further here to the north, off the table. Doesn't matter because nobody landed at the right beach, but just for historical reference, this is where everything was. And yeah, the Americans have already landed. They've been here for about 2 days. We're actually on, we're kind of combining action that took place on November 9th and November 10th. And we're going to go ahead and do pretty much, we're going to sort of smash together a little bit, 2 days worth of combat. We're doing D-Day +1 and 2 in today's game. So really, if you want to get serious historical grognard on us here, the game that we're doing today is really 2 games that happened on 2 different days. We're just kind of mashing it together because it's fun. Let me catch up on our...
we don't want to spend 12 hours fighting 2 days worth of battles.
Yeah, that would also... I mean, it would be the same size. It would just be 2 different games. You have to set it up twice, and it's just be a pain. Let's see here. 80 degrees here, and we just had a hurricane. Jen, that hurricane kind of missed us. I mean, technically, we technically got brushed by a hurricane last week, but it's all good. Shigos and Spruce, and the French don't like the British after they sank the French fleet. Yeah, we're talking about Mers el Kabir, which definitely did happen. Another French fleet is about to be sunk when the Germans invade Vichy, France, and they pretty much move in to occupy the rest of France after Admiral Darlan told all the French units here in North Africa not to resist the Allies. Some of the French units still resisted the Allies, but anyway, because some of them didn't, Hitler blamed Darlan, Hitler blamed Laval, he blamed the Vichy government, so he came back into the rest of Vichy France in an operation called Operation Anton, and when they reached Some of the French ports where a lot of the French fleet was still stationed. That part of the French fleet that the British did not sink in 1940, the French fleet kind of had to blow itself up or else fall into German hands. So, yeah, the French Navy really got a raw deal in World War II. They ended up almost completely sunk, and they either had to blow themselves up or they were sunk by allies in a very bizarre incident. But that's, again, the politics when it comes to Vichy France get wicked complicated, and it's not even worth wading into. You've got, again, some of those colonies were, just to give you an idea how widespread this is and how convoluted it gets, some of these French colonies, again, stay Vichy French. Some of them go Free French. Now you have all of these Vichy colonies that are technically Axis territories. The German foreign minister, Ribbentrop, in the fall of 1940, starts giving some of them away to get more allies elsewhere around the world. Ding dong. Good example, he gives French Indochina to the Japanese because he wants the Japanese to come against the Russians when the Germans go into Russia later on in 1941. So now Japan owns French Indochina for free because it's a Vichy territory and the Germans are really pulling the strings in Indochina, in Vichy France. So Indochina turns into 3 countries called Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. You guys see where this is going. Once the French have to give up Vietnam, what was going to become Vietnam, to the Japanese, here comes a communist freedom fighter called Ho Chi Minh, who is supported and funded by none other than the OSS. That's the precursor of the American CIA. The American CIA gives Ho Chi Minh his start to help fight the Japanese in Japanese-occupied French Indochina. So between the French, the Germans, and the American OSS, there's the start of the Vietnam War. These ripples go outward, and it becomes really completely complicated. And that's just a tiny example. That's literally, this could literally be an iceberg video. What happens because of Vichy France? It gets completely out of control. But to keep the stream from going for 10 hours, this is the map. All right. I'm sorry, Rasmus, were you going to say something?
No, I just agreed with you that the ripple effects from this sort of thing can get very complicated.
You've got Allied invasions of Madagascar. You've got French fighting French hard in Syria. You've got combat in Chad. You've got combat in southern Libya. It goes all over the place, and it gets pretty hairy.
That's why we call it a world war.
Yeah, that's true. Nothing ever pops loose, but there was tension, and because the French have colonies in the Caribbean, and some of them were free, some of them were Vichy, and it was like, oh, are German U-boats going to start basing in Guadeloupe, or do the Americans have to drop 101st Airborne into Antigua? It sounds crazy, but it almost happened. I won't say it almost happened. It could have happened. But here's what did happen. Okay, so we've got the French set up. I'm not even going to try and pronounce these units because I don't speak French, and I can't even approximate a French pronunciation. But the RTM, the regiment of something, basically the Moroccan regiment, 1st Moroccan regiment of the Vichy French Army here in colonial North Africa. This is what they had, and we got it set up here pretty precisely. Yes, there were some FT-17s here. These are my favorite little bastard tanks from World War I. There's literally World War I armor still on the table, because of course it is. Vichy France was the leftovers of what was already a second-rate military power, and this is the colonial army thereof. So this is like 5 levels down as far as second-rate army, the leftovers that the Germans love them to keep. It's the colonial force of it. It's bad. Hence, they still have World War I tanks. They were there. There were 3 of these tanks, so roughly 1 counter's worth. There were 3 of these tanks parked out in front of the Council Fortress that the Americans had to knock out. We also have some Moroccan natives. These are actually people from Morocco ready to fight. There's also some elements, some sources that say that some French Foreign Legion was mixed up in here. So I did give them some good infantry as well as some pretty poor infantry. And there will be some French armor on the table. This is probably the most famous part of this battle. This is America's first tank battle in World War II. It's not against the Germans, it's against the Vichy French. We've got the better part of a regiment, about 40 tanks, or a reinforced battalion really. French armor, again, early 1940, 1939 stuff, not the best, but there are 40 of them. And they are coming up a road out of the southwest, and there's a famous battle that takes place there against some of these American Stuarts. That actually did happen. The Americans have 1st and 2nd Battalions of 60th Infantry Regiment, 9th U.S. Infantry Division. No worries there. 3rd Battalion of this regiment was there. However, if you look at our map, you'll notice at 3/60, they are flanking to the north, and they're coming down to take the airfield from the north and west. The north and the east. So they're not within our box, they're outside the scope of today's battle. So that's why you only see 2 battalions there. 1 battalion, 2 battalion, a regimental command group, and some additional armor. 60th Infantry was reinforced. The reason it has a negative sign next to it, only part of it's here on our actual table. There's also 1st Battalion of 66th Armored Regiment. This is a very famous armored regiment still in the U.S. Army today. 2nd U.S. Armored Division. They've only got Stuarts in this battle, not Abrams, so sorry. Nevertheless, they do have 2 complete companies. Again, the 3rd company is absent. They're supporting 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry flanking to the north. And 1st Battalion of 540th Engineers. This is all part of Armored Combat Landing Team 3 under, again, Major General, I think he was, Lucian Truscott, working for Western Task Force under command of Patton. So Truscott's an interesting character. He is one of Patton's almost permanent subordinates, a big supporter of Patton, a big Patton booster. Truscott is also one of the big reasons why Patton looks good, because Truscott won a lot of his battles for him. And Patton's very good at stealing credit from other generals who kind of deserve it.
Yes, I was about to say before when you said, yeah, you heard about Patton. Yeah, he would be upset if he hadn't heard about him.
Yeah. The one sort of exception to that rule is Truscott does kind of get left behind in Italy when Patton gets fired, finally. Better late than never, I guess. And then he later gets given 3rd Army. I think Truscott was still in Italy at the time. Could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. The Americans have quite a bit of support on the table. These 2 batteries of 155mm guns are not land howitzer batteries. We're just kind of using these counters to approximate it and track it. What those actually are, historically, are the 6-inch gun batteries of a light cruiser USS Savannah about 6 miles offshore. So keep an eye out for that. Notice all of the planes. There were P-40 Warhawks in the air. They're busy making sure the Vichy French Air Force, which there was a pretty serious element of, don't get too involved in today's battle, so I didn't put them in the game. However, there is some air power on the table. These are SPD Dauntlesses of the U.S. Navy, flying off of escort carriers, again, part of that naval invasion fleet. There's also some Avengers here. These are torpedo bombers out of the Pacific. They have just entered service. I think we saw them in our Midway game. I think the Americans had a grand total of 4 of these. These were brand new and just coming out. Notice they only have a 10 attack factor. A Dauntless has a 20. I think a Stuka has a 20. The Typhoons and P-47 Thunderbolts, all the good American and British fighter bombers have at least a 30 for their ground attack value. Why do these guys only have 10? Because, and I shit you not, they're carrying depth charges. The air support mission, the air support situation here got very, very hairy, especially when that French armor showed up. The Americans were screaming for whatever air support they could possibly get. The Americans said, we've already given you the Dauntlesses. The Navy said this. We already gave you the Dauntlesses. What else can we send you? Send us anything. They had some Avengers loaded up, again, technically torpedo bombers, loaded up with depth charges because they were afraid German U-boats might attack the invasion fleet. And there were no German U-boats there, and the troops on the ground were screaming for support. And like, we can't exactly drop depth charges on French tanks. And the Army was like, well, you're damn well going to try. So, again, a bit of a wild battle. It kind of goes off the rail here.
It might go boom.
It'll explode eventually. But yeah, it's not the ideal, it's not the right tool for the right job, so the attack factor is impacted. Again, this is technically the third day of operations. The first day, not much really happened. The Americans landed, no one was really shooting at each other yet. They even walked up to the Casbah and presented a document. They're like, look, we're not so much asking you to surrender as we're asking you to not shoot at us and join our side. We're not here demanding a surrender. They had orders from their immediate commander not to. They had orders from their high commander, again, that Darlan guy, not to. Then, one of the French, middle echelon generals said, yes, go ahead and shoot. And it went back and forth in a very, very confused situation, whether or not there was going to be a battle here or at all. So the French don't want to shoot at the Americans. There's orders, there's legalities, there's the Vichy government is the legitimately installed government to which the military is subordinate at all times, and so on and so forth. They work for the Germans, and everyone knows it. Who the hell wants to fight for the Germans and, even worse, die for them against your people who are supposed to be your allies? The Americans don't want to shoot. Eventually, the French open fire and the Americans return fire, and it's downhill from there. It does turn into an actual shootout, sadly. But it's half-hearted at best. Now, this is going to reflect in today's game with a few of the special rules. So again, this battle is now in its third day, although the first day there was really no shooting. This is, again, the second and third day kind of mashed together. So the Americans are in their approximate historical locations, as are the French. You've got 5th of the 1st. We already talked about them, the RTM, and that's the main the main French force here. They are deployed in the Casbah Fortress. So that's an old, medieval fort that they're actually, fortified and modernized and got ready to fight. They're fronted by all these IPs. That's improved positions, slit trenches, anti-tank traps, things of that nature, berms, firing pits. And then there's a lighthouse, a big stone lighthouse here on this little cliff overlooking the channel. That is also a pretty well fortified position, so we'll keep an eye out for that. That FT-17 platoon is pretty much parked right where they were. 3 FT-17s just kind of parked out like French lawn gnomes out in front of the damn lighthouse. That's about as good as they're going to do. They're not exactly going to put up much of a fight.
Oh, it's machine guns.
It's got an H-class attack factor. It's got something explosive in there. I don't know what it was, but the game does give it an H. Then we've got I've got some expendable French units. I'm playing the French that I pushed out from the Casbah just to push back, because the Americans are only allowed to set up at least 3 hexes away from the French unit. So this particular body of the French is only allowed to set up within 4 hexes of the Casbah. So I kind of made the most of that and put out some crap units just to make sure the Americans can't start off right on top of me. And we're already mostly of the way through turn 1. So good news on that. Rasmus took a look at the historical setup. He made a few adjustments, which he's allowed to do within the constraints of the American setup. The Americans were allowed really quickly to set it within 6 hexes of that northern shoreline and at least 3 hexes away from any French unit. Other than that, he can set up wherever he wants. Again, he's been here 3 days now. And now we're going to go ahead and start the game. Or continue with the game. Again, we've already started. So we're halfway through. We're almost done with Rasmus's turn 1. He's fired off some of his priests, some of his technicals, T-19s. Again, we gave away so much of our self-propelled artillery to the British via Lend-Lease that American self-propelled artillery regiments, tank destroyer regiments, were woefully under-equipped. We gave away too many priests, and we gave away almost all of our Wolverines, almost all of our M10s. So what did we do? We started kit bashing with 75s, 37mm anti-tank guns on the back of pickup trucks. That's not the right unit. I'll find it later. Yeah, we started putting whatever gun we could on the back of a half-track and calling it a tank destroyer. Not the ideal solution, but we were in a rush. So he made an advance.
A solution.
Yeah. I took a bunch of opportunity fire. I missed with most of it. I did kill 1 American infantry platoon. so that's cool. His 37mm anti-tank gun battery, sure enough, first shot of the game already blew up that FT-17 platoon. They literally lasted one die roll. I knew they were going to die fast. I didn't know they were going to die that fast. And again, a bunch more artillery fire. Again, the Priests, the T-19s. There's some 50 caliber batteries of anti-aircraft guns. Basically, level those things and start shooting at ground targets. It does makes a pretty good mess of infantry. And yeah, he's already started to weaken some of my positions. So the victory conditions here. He already holds one objective X. So he's got one. There are 4 others on the table. He gets 5 points for every objective X he takes and holds by the end of the game. Or everyone that he holds at the end of the game. Game lasts 8 turns. Who knows if we'll get through the whole game today, but no worries. No worries there. The French have the other 4. He has to take them. I get 10 points for every one that I still hold. Clearly the French are going to get curb stomped here. So to make the game fun, the objectives and the victory conditions have to swing the other way. And so it's 10 points for everyone that I still hold, and I get 2 points per American unit killed. He gets no points for every French unit killed. Again, he's not trying to kill Frenchmen. He's trying to get them to surrender, and there's a rule for that. So again, he's got overwhelming numbers and firepower. Again, he's got bombers, he's got torpedo bombers, he's got a cruiser for crying out loud, dropping 6-inch shells like limitlessly on me from off the table. I can't do counter battery fire on his cruiser. I can't sink his cruiser. We'll talk about the Jean Bart later because the stream's already gone on too long. There's a lot going on here. The good news is I do have some armor on the way. They're probably going to get curb stomped as well. And the victory conditions are stacked in my favor. So the battle's unfair. The game hopefully will be close. So we've done all of Rasmus's fire. We've done his movement. I took my opportunity fire where I could. It had mixed results. And now we're at the end of his turn, where it looks like he's got a little company-sized battle group, 2 platoons of rifles and 1 platoon of combat engineers. And he's going to cat attack somebody. Rasmus, which of these 2 targets are you going to go ahead and cat attack?
The armored car.
All right, cool. So we have a grand total of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arab Israeli war rules for cat attacks. When you're cat attacking a predominantly armored unit, it doubles. So now you've got 10 versus my 2. Subtract 2 from the die roll for cat attack. Subtract a third from the die roll because you have combat engineers. So we're at 5 to 1 minus 3. However, you have to add 1 because I am in woods. So it becomes a net of 5 to 1 minus 2 from the die roll. I don't think you can fail. Even if you roll a 6, it's read as a 4. So yeah, those armored cars are toast.
And it became a 5 just because I like rolling dice.
It couldn't have become a 5 because you.
Well, I rolled a 5, so it became a 3.
It became a 3, yeah. I'll say it was mathematically impossible. If you had to roll, the worst you could have rolled was a 4. So that was a cat attack. That's close assaults. Guys with bazookas. There were some bazookas in this battle. That is recorded historically. And mines, grenades, sticky bombs, who knows what. Attacking some poor old French armored cars left over from the 1920s. They're smoked, clearly. All right. And that concludes the American turn, with one exception. We do have a special rule. Again, these French units don't want to fight. They're under conflicting orders. Their company commander is telling them to keep shooting. Their battalion commander is telling them to cease fire. Their regimental commander is telling them to keep shooting. Their divisional commander is telling them to cease fire. Imagine. Plus, the individual guy in the foxhole is like, those are Americans out there. They're here to help us. We don't like the British, but even the British are technically our allies. But these guys aren't even British, they're Americans. What the fuck are we doing? So, Rasmus, roll a d6. If you roll a 4 up, one of my units disappears off the map.
A 6, so you get the choice of who runs away.
So I'm gonna pick a relatively worthless unit just because, these scout cars are like, I'm gonna scout the hell out of here.
We heard about the action going far away from here.
Yep. So those leaflets, this is a weird battle, guys, historically. So the two things you never, ever, ever want to miss in a real-life battle, you always want to hit with surprise, and you always want to shoot first. These are exactly the two things the Americans did not do here in Operation Torch against the Vichy French. They warned them, they told them ahead of time, like the night before, they dropped leaflets, they sent radio messages, they contacted the ambassadors, they contacted the generals, they contacted everybody they could. Hey, we are invading your beach tomorrow. We're going to be right here at 7 in the morning. They didn't exactly do this with the Germans in Normandy. You know, we're not going to bombard the beach, we're not going to bomb the positions, we're going to come out of the water, and the American troops that were coming out of the water had clear orders, do not fire until fired upon. So they gave up the first shot, they did no preparatory bombardment, they did no aerial barrage, and they flat out told the French where they were coming and said, please, for the love of God, don't shoot at us. In a lot of places, the French didn't. Some places they did, and when that happened, again, because the Americans had already violated those first two basic rules of how to set up an assault, American losses here were pretty bad, historically. Okay, so that concludes American turn 1. We then go to Vichy turn 1. Okay, Vichy turn 1 is the first thing you do is you set up your artillery. I do have artillery on the table, or technically off the table. So calling in on turn 1, landing on turn 2. I'm calling a hex number.
Yeah, and for the people out there, there is a special rule that allows the Savannah to fire counter-fire.
Yep, absolutely. So I don't expect to get too many shots with my off-board 155s. There were off-board 155s. That's historically on there. However, they were eventually silenced by naval counter-battery fire. So that's kind of what's going to happen here. It's just how soon Rasmus makes it a priority and how good his dice are. Pretty much his off-board artillery is going to target my off-board artillery. Again, this game can only get so big, but the real-life range of these guns, even here in Panzer Leader, where the game is technically 1 to 10,000, not everything fits on the map. So, tell me again about your bolt-action game. Moving right along. All right, so I've called in my artillery. I now go to direct fire. Unfortunately, I've already fired most of my stuff with opportunity fire, so now I don't get to shoot. Out of range, out of range. I do have line of sight, and I'm going to take it with my mortars. Ooh, wait a minute now. Okay, 6 points because I'm taking direct fire with my mortars. That's not a town next there, is it? Okay, cool. I have line of sight. So that's 3 doubles to 6. I'm going to specifically target the rifle section. So it's 1-to-1 odds. A 1 will do it. A 3, he's dispersed.
And as I understand it, I won't rally too many troops.
Yeah, the Americans are green as grass. These are all conscripts. They were drafted. They've been to like 6 weeks of boot camp somewhere in Mississippi. They got seasick on the way over here. They've sailed here all the way from North Carolina. Never mind Portsmouth, trying to get to Normandy. These guys came from way the hell across the ocean. And, didn't go well. Again, everyone has to start somewhere. There's always a first time. And these guys are cherry. These guys are really cherry. Okay, so that's it for my direct fire, I believe, because I don't... Oh, I have a little bit of direct fire. Actually, no, I don't. Because can't see over my own ridge. I have to shoot to the top of your ridge. Okay, so 5 to 6, 1-to-2 odds. Woo! Pinned them down. That was 1-to-1 odds he'd be dead. So let me keep track of who's spotted here, because that's going to matter for my girl Savannah. Savannah is like, sir, we see
you
muzzle.
once spotted. You once spotted, not OP.
Oh, you're right. Savannah's like, sir, we see muzzle flashes. We see lots of muzzle flashes. We see smoke. Someone's shooting at our guys. Even if not, the guys
just went up.
The guys who are getting shot are like, do you guys see this? Because we see them, they see us. All right, cool. And of course, all these guys that took opportunity. I won't clutter up the map, but all these guys that took opportunity fire are spotted. All right, so that's. This guy never shot at anybody, but he's not going to take direct fire. Not going to take direct fire. We go to French movement phase. One. I'm already behind this tree line here. So in Valor and Victory, you can take that shot. In Panzer Leader, you can't. 2. You can take opportunity fire on him now, because even though he's in woods, he's adjacent to you.
Yeah, why not?
Because spoiler alert, otherwise there's a cat attack coming. You've got a total of 5 points versus his 5, 1-1. You have to add 1 to the die roll.
2, so it becomes a 3.
It is dispersed, so it did break up part of the cat attack. In fact, it completely broke up the cat attack because now this cat attack is illegal. You can't cat attack at less than 1 to 4 odds. You can't do anything at less than 1 to 4 odds. It just becomes illegal. Okay, so speaking of which, I can't do anything. I can't launch a cat attack here. I'm going to move back into this position.
Didn't he take up opportunity fire?
Did he?
I think so, yeah.
It's right there on the counter. You're right. Sorry. That's why you have a counter there, dummy. B being the dummy. Yeah, totally. There's literally a counter there that says this guy took opportunity fire. I think that's it. The French turns are going to be pretty quick because there's not a whole lot I can do. 1. Using the road movement rate. 1, 2. All right, that's going to wrap things up for the French movement on turn 1. No cat attacks. What I'll do instead is I'll move him into the trees. Just to give him some cover.
Time for the big boom. Time for the big boom.
Okay, we're now beginning American turn 2. Let me catch up on Mr. Chat here. Oh, wow, we got a bunch of people today. Hold on, guys. Let me catch up on the chat here. Shakos and Sprues, yay, FT-17s. Yeah, they didn't last long. I'm sorry, Shakos and Sprues. They were there. They got to look adorable for about half a second. It was literally, I think, Rasmus's second dice roll of the game. I think the first was the priests shooting at my infantry here. After that, it was the anti-tank guns on my FT-17s, and that was all she wrote. Not unexpected, but they were there historically, so I wanted to... Also, it's just fun to put FT-17s on the table.
And I mean, I wanted to shoot the 37mm anti-tank gun at a tank.
It's not too often that a 37mm battery is mighty. But against FT-17s at less than 1,000 yards, actually less than 800 yards, yeah, it totally happened. Shakos and Sprues also adds, I'm starting my North Africa project for Chain of Command this weekend with some Brits. My favorite theater in World War II, you get loads of nations and lots of wacky stuff. This is very true. Especially the earlier part of, which this isn't this is near the end of the North African campaign, but the early part of the North African campaign as well. I mean, look at the size of it. It's the size of the Eastern Front geographically. The battles were small, at least at first. Like the first half of it, until you get to El Alamein, the battles are actually pretty small. So it's easy to wargame it. Lots of crazy equipment. A lot of it's crap, but it's fun to play with. It's definitely fun to build and paint. And yeah, you get nationalities at the wazoo. This map is grossly oversimplified. If you want to get technical about it, the British 8th Army commanded, or some games like Brian Train's Desert Leader, they don't call it the British. They call it the Commonwealth, which is a lot more accurate. There was no such thing as the British 8th Army. The generals were British, and even that wasn't always the case. There were some divisional commanders from other nations, but you got South Africans, Indians, Australians, New Zealanders, Poles, Czechs, and Egyptians. They weren't Israelis yet, but Palestinian Jews, Vichy, Free French, and I'm sure I'm missing at least a couple others. Greeks.
The odd Irishman.
Oh, yeah, there were Irish. Well, there were Irish in all those companies. Scots, if you want to.
Yep.
You know, I'm saying like not British. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Irish and not
Also,
British.
Irish from the Republic that joined the British Army,
Yep.
just to make things complicated.
There's got to be 20 nations, easy. And not even within those nations, there are groups, like the New Zealanders. Some of them were not just like Kiwis. You got 28th Maori Battalion, guys like natives from the Pacific, who literally would file down their teeth into points. And there's a famous battle here called the Tobaga Gap later on here along the Meredith Line, where 28th Maori Battalion, with tattoos and filed down teeth, black as coal, came out of the night in a bayonet charge and machete charge at Germans on the extreme end of that Meredith Line. And tell me those Germans did not shit a chicken when they those guys came out of the darkness and just literally tore them apart. So yeah, it's like extremely diverse as far as the nations that you can have involved there, and nationalities. Hello, Storm of Steel says, evening all. Hey, if you drop a depth charge on FT-17, it goes up, it's going to do some damage. Yeah, so historically, that's what wound up happening with those H-39s and H-35s, these Hotchkiss tanks that we're going to see starting on turn 3. So this force arrives on the southern end of the table on turn 3. And historically, the Army was, again, shitting a chicken. Please God, send us some air support, and all the Navy could send were Avengers loaded with depth charges meant for German U-boats. So we'll see if Rasmus can sink some French submarines later in the game. Cool. So people are all taking. How do you, James? Thanks very much for coming out. Storm of Steel, I definitely appreciate it. Command of a chain of command. Our North Africa Brits are in progress tonight. Okay, so people are talking about their hobby. That's awesome. Tough Ears has joined us. On this Remembrance Day, thank you to those who serve or have served their country and those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Well said, Tough Ears. I could not have said it better myself. Wake up and choose violence. We've seen a little bit of violence. We're about to see some more. Ben has joined us. Hello, Ben. How you doing? Here for the game, stay for the history. Yeah, I should probably stop talking so much. This stream's going to go way too long as it is. Okay, so turn 2, we begin with Rasmus plotting his new artillery. That does happen before you resolve your artillery called in last turn. So I'll zoom out so you can see the whole map. Again, a whole bunch of new stuff is spotted now, so Savannah's got plenty of targets. Not to mention your ground-based artillery, which you can split up any way you want. Again, you've got 75 millimeter, 75 millimeter, 75 millimeter, 105 millimeter. You got plenty of firepower. Your 2 batteries and mortars, and of course.
Can the priest and the one with it shoot? Yeah, because they're plotting for next turn. Even if they shot directly this turn.
They shot directly during your turn 1. Now you're on turn 2.
Yeah.
If you give them a fire mission, that's fine.
They can't shoot.
They can't move or fire this turn.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yes, that's all plotted in.
Oh, did I mispronounce Maori? Maori. I pronounce them as scary as shit, especially when they bayonet and machete charge you out of the midnight desert with pointy teeth and gleaming bayonets and axes or machetes or some bizarre weapon. Yeah, and they not to get crazy about it, but there are reports that some of them had taken some medicinal courage before that battle, so they were definitely a force to be reckoned with. And these poor Germans, they had no idea that these guys were there. They snuck around like through this little gap, like the Tobaga Gap they call it. That's the name of the battle. They didn't know that there was any kind of an approach from that side. And next thing you know,
suddenly demons are among us.
Literally, yeah. All right, so artillery plotted. When you're ready, we'll
Yes.
resolve your previous artillery.
Yeah. All of it.
All of it. Oh no!
Hit the Casbah.
Well, big surprise. All right, cool. So, unfortunately for the French, and again, it's not set up that way to hurt the French. It's just where it was historically. The Casbah, which is a really tough hex to crack, that's why Rasmus is hitting it so hard, is visible from the sea, which means everybody can see it. All these guys on these ridges, these guys were on the ridges, all these guys that are still on the ridge can see it. These IPs do not block line of sight. The lighthouse does, but these guys are far enough south where they can see the Casbah. Long story short, Casbah had plenty of eyes on it. It's not a terribly well-sighted fortification. It sees the sea. It's meant to sink pirate ships from like the 1800s. So it has to be able to see the ocean. Unfortunately, now the ocean can see you, and my girl, Miss USS Savannah, is out there, and yeah, she's got something to say. All right, so literally...
It's probably more to protect pirate ships from the
that might also be true.
1800.
Yeah. This might have been one of those little pirate havens back in the day.
Morocco were one of the Corsair
states or kingdoms or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
All right. The good news for me is that all this stuff is now spotted. Well, there's no one that can see that, so I probably shouldn't put it there. But yeah, because that was part of the artillery barrage. This 75 battery. Again, everything here is a battery, folks. For those not familiar with Panzer Leader, every hex here is 200 meters, or roughly a bolt action table. Maybe 2 hexes of this is a Flames of War table. Everything here is a bolt action army. That's 40 guys. That's 5 priests. That's 5 stewards. There's a couple thousand guys on this table. Oh God! So
and I didn't even have to paint them.
7. What y'all know about 7? That's 14. Plus 6 is 20. These guys were busy. Tell me if I'm missing anything.
Plus the Savannah.
And the Savannah, of course. All right, so then there's 2 20s. Here come about 12 6-inch shells. Good luck with all that. Because this is gonna get hairy. Oh no! 40 points. Plus 7, plus 7, plus 3, plus 3. Nope, I wasn't doing that right. Oh yeah, it was. 40 plus 20. 60. All right, cool, 60 points. All right, that's the bad news. Good news, we're in a castle. That's going to help us a little bit. Rasmus has to add, we're using Arab Israeli war rules for fortifications, not Panzer Leader rules. So, for those who don't know, Panzer Blitz, Panzer Leader, Arab Israeli wars are kind of 3 editions of the same game that steadily got better. So what most people who really play Panzer Leader nowadays, the game came out in 1970, 71, 74, and 77. It's an old game. Most people who still play this, and a lot of people do, there's a hell of a Facebook group for this, are actually playing Arab Israeli war rules because they finally fixed all the bugs in the rules, retrofitted to World War II scenarios. That's what we're doing here. So anything adds 10 to the defense, and you have to add 2 to the die roll. So this 138mm battery now is a defense of 12. 5 to 1, you have to add 2 to the die roll.
2.
2 becomes
Plus
a
2,
4 on 5 to 1. It's wrecked. Kaboom! All right, next 16. 4 to 1, add 2 to the die roll.
It becomes a 3. Roll the 1.
Okay, he's also smoked. I just said how tough
the
Casbah is. It's about to get wrecked.
8.
All right, modified 8 on 5 to 1. I think he's not even dispersed. The colonel's standing there with his saber going, what are all you guys doing? Oh no, he's dispersed. What are all you guys
at
on
least
your
it's only
bellies?
dispersed.
So these
But
guys
yeah, that cost me a lot of my artillery.
Yeah, he literally
For that turn.
flashed it with every gun on the board. And what I'm going to do now, spoiler alert, audience, I'm just going to shuffle more units in there. That Casbah took 3 days to take historically. Rasmus is trying to do it in the battlefield equivalent of half an hour. So we'll see what happens.
But I took out the big gun in there, which...
Yep, that is the biggest piece of French artillery on the table. That is a battery. I think there was only 2 of them historically, but so a small battery. But they did have these M1923s, 138 millimeter field guns. Not capable of indirect fire, but they already killed. No, they didn't kill. They just dispersed. They dispersed one.
No, they did disperse. It was everything else that killed the guy coming.
Okay, so that's your indirect fire.
Beach.
Cool. That's your indirect fire. We now go to. About 7. I once rolled 77 straight 7s. That's a lot of 7s. Did you do it on July 7th, 1977? All right, so here we go with, you laugh, but there's actually a famous American Revolutionary War battle of Hubbardton. It took place on 7th July, 1777. So, anyway, off topic. All right, we go to your direct fire.
When do I rally? What's right to rally?
During your direct fire. But after it's the end of your direct fire phase.
Yes. So let's see. The priest and
Yep.
And the
T19.
one that moved in. And the one that moved into the wood up against the lake in. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
They'll all fire at the northern improved position.
This one here. Okay, I'm checking line of sight. Because the line of sight, guys, the elevation is a little confusing on this table. But yeah, Rasmus has got it. Take these off before I get confused. All right, cool. So fire. Now he's definitely spotted. I saw that shit. So again, Americans gave away all their good stuff to the British and Lend-Lease. We hadn't actually recovered our own stocks yet. T-30, it's a 75 millimeter pack howitzer, kit bashed onto the back of an M3 half-track. Holy hell does it suck. This is what the Americans called a self-propelled howitzer, because we gave too many of our priests to the British. And how did the British respond? They ripped out our 105s and they put in their 25 pounders and called it a sexton, because gratitude. Just kidding. In some ways, the 25 pounder is a better gun than the 105. In some ways, it's not. It's long. It's not
more sense to just have one set of logistics that you need to handle.
Yeah, the British had a metric shit ton, like stockpile like you'd never believe, of 25 pounder ammunition. 25 pounder is not as powerful as the American 105, but it is longer ranged. So the British, and especially in North Africa, got very, very good at putting their 25 pounders at just the right distance, like 12,000 meters. So forget miniature gaming, to where they could hit German 10.5 field howitzers and they couldn't return fire. That's actually in Mellenthin's book. He hated that shit. He was like, damn, these British, they could always hit us, we could never hit them. Of course, then the anti-tank battle starts and the 88 millimeter comes out and the shoe's on the other foot now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
you might want to move all of the OP fire out of your guys.
So, real quick, because you've got some direct fire weapons and some indirect fire weapons. Are you going to count it all as indirect or all as direct fire, or you can mix it? Just let me know, and we'll go through the math.
We'll fire everything directly at the.
Cool. All right. So for the T-30, the range is 8, but you are within 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So he still gets the double. That's 10. These guys are clearly within half. The upper right-hand corner, guys, is the range. Again, in 200 meter hexes. This is for a battery mass target, not an individual gun. So yeah, everything doubles. We're looking at 25 doubles to 50. Good God Almighty! All right, who are you attacking?
We'll put it all on that rifle.
50 to 6 is 8-1 odds. You have to add 2 to your die roll, but even if you add, yeah, just don't roll 6.
5, so
5.
7.
He barely got killed. So even with all that firepower, he barely dug him out of there. I will check the chart on that in just a second, but I'm 90% sure. So how it works, guys, you add up all the combat factors, you divide by the defense factor, you add up a ratio, you round in favor of the defender, you roll a d6 as low as you can. So he was on the game stops at 7-1. He was on the 7-1 row. He rolled a 5. Because of my improved positions, that's foxholes, slit trenches, anti-tank traps, so on, he's forced to add 2 to his roll, so that 5 is read as a 7. He did kill him, but barely. And that's after hitting him with 15 howitzers.
Yep.
10 of them 75s. Again, a mix of short-barreled packs and long-barreled field guns, and 5 more 105s. So, yeah, field fortifications do help. But still.
But only so much.
When you get hit by that much, yeah. Cool. All right, so any other direct fire? Do your 37s want to hit that truck just for fun?
Yeah, to get it out of the way.
I said it's not completely useless. All right, it's 2-1 because you reduce because of well, you reduce for 2 reasons. You reduce for shooting at soft targets, and you reduce for extended range. That 37mm only has a range of 4 hexes, about 800 yards in this system. So 2-1.
I just misused that one.
Oh no, well, you did kill him, but this might not have been the best time to get a 1. Well, look at the bright side. This is the deadliest 37mm battery since Poland, probably. I'll just put him up there.
And let's see, then we got the 37 on top of the ridge.
Yep. Right now, 1, 2, 3. Well, he can technically reach something, but not really.
Yeah, I think that's it for direct fire. I don't think there's anything else that. I think it makes more sense to cat attack things and.
Oh, that's why we have so many engineers. And that's not just me making the Americans OP, that's literally how it happened. I actually pulled down the American Army history on this, and they were like, yep, we put 2 rifle platoons and an engineer platoon and made it into a little battle group and sent them in.
So that's it for direct fire. Don't think that we got any more odd half tracks with anything bolted on that we can shoot. So.
Cool. So now we go to your rally phase that you were talking about before. Unfortunately, American morale or cohesion is really bad at this stage of the war. Conscript army, barely trained. Officers don't know what the hell they're doing. What officers did know what the hell they were doing got promoted about 6 times on their way across the Atlantic. Because in 1939, for people in the audience, a lot of you guys may already know this, America's army was 39th in the world. We were right behind Romania. Romania had a bigger army than we did. By 1942, we had like the 2nd largest army in the world. We were right behind the Russians. And believe it or not, we would soon eclipse the Russians. Of course, we weren't taking Russian casualties the whole time. That might have been why. So, when every single one of your squads becomes a company, and every one of your companies becomes a regiment, when your regiments become corps, where the hell do all these new officers come from? That's when American officers were just promoted. If you were a Lieutenant Tuesday, by Wednesday you were a major. 2nd Lieutenant to Major, that's about 15 years in normal times. Here it's about 15 minutes. It's as fast as the guy can write your name on the document. And what you have is a lot of guys who don't really know what they're doing. Yeah, sadly.
And a lot of them were also functional promotions, so they would get demoted after the war.
Those were all brevet promotions. Absolutely. This is why when you see in like in the part 1 of Band of Brothers, when guys start getting sent home, they start like almost crying because it's like, oh, I just lost 20 years worth of rank. You're a major general on this side of the Atlantic, and you're just a major on this side of the Atlantic. You know, it's about that fast. All right, so yeah. So long story short, these units don't come together very well. So you have to roll. Let's see, a D is. I have a morale chart here. I think it's a 1 or a 2. Let me triple check that. Yeah, a D. You need to roll a 1 or a 2.
So first guy up there.
Yep.
A 4.
He fails to rally. This guy here.
The next guy. A 4.
Fails to rally. This guy here.
A 4.
Fails to rally. This guy here.
A 3.
Fails to rally. Here we go. The American Army, it's everybody's first time once.
But 3 4s in a row. That was...
It's fun to, yeah. Let's be real. Think back, way back. How good were you on your first time? And let's get her end of the story. Just kidding. Here we go with... Okay, we're done with direct fire. We're done with rallies. We go to your movement phase.
Yes, so the one that's on the suppressed one.
Yep.
That one. He'll move through the big stack and down next to the lighthouse.
1, 2. Opportunity fire, because I'll never respect myself in the morning. This is a sacrificial unit here, I'm assuming. 1, 2. Within point blank range, this 5 is an AA unit, doubles to 10. So it's a 25mm autocannon. We're going to have some fun with that, Saving Private Ryan style. And a heavy machine gun section, because hell yeah, we got old Hotchkiss machine guns from World War I. Tuck, 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 tuck. So 10 plus 4 is 6, grand total of 16. This whole stack is taking opportunity fire. 16 on 6. Oh, I'm going to blast this guy. Yeah, I want this guy dead. Where's that opportunity fire marker? Alright, so everyone in those 2 stacks is shooting. 14 plus 10 is 24, plus 2 is 26, 30 points, 5 to 1 odds, no modifiers. Get that 5 out of there. Okay, now my camera's frozen. That sucks.
Yeah, I can see it live on the corner up in Skype. But
yeah, but it was still showing that dice. That dice was not in the tray. It was a phantom dice. I mean, if you want, I'll leave that 1 in there all day, but I don't think you'd want that.
Nah, I'll take a live die.
No, it's giving me a fucking problem here. I don't want to shut down Skype. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna roll because otherwise we're gonna be here all day.
Yeah. That's fine.
That ain't gonna work. Hi, everybody. It's not the right camera. All right, just so the stream doesn't get screwed up. All right, here I go. Honor system. I get a 2 on the 5 to 1. He smoked.
Yes. Yeah, and I can still see it in Skype. So.
Oh, cool.
Well, then the stack he passed through will move into that one.
Okay, there is a rec counter in there, so only 2 units can go in there. Rec counters do impact.
Yeah, so we want the engineers and we want the rifles.
Those were the 2 correct units to send in there. Okay, additional indirect fire. Whatchamacallit fire. I waited too long on him. Oh, also, I didn't have a chance. So, nothing there. Locked by the Casbah.
Or the lighthouse.
Yeah, the lighthouse here. 1 to 6 is illegal. He didn't buy the... Oh, that's it. That's all I got. I took my whack and I took my shot. So, cool. That's it. That's all I got. And the rest of your movement?
Yeah, let's see. The one of the rifles in one of the rifles in 1904 will move to 2004.
Got it.
And then the machine gun section in 1704 will move over to 1904.
Got it. You probably already know this, but no machine gun units cannot cat attack on their own. They have to have at least 1 rifle unit stacked with them.
Yes. And let's see. Now the Casbah have kind of closed, stopped rocking.
Yep. Like Storm of Steel said, rock the Casbah. Yeah, when the Savannah drops her whole broadside, I would call that rocking the Casbah, to be sure.
Let's see, the guys down by the wood will skirt around 2008 or 2108, 2208. Yes.
These mortars do not take opportunity fire, ominously. Okay.
And then the group in 1808 will move to 2008.
Okay.
And let's see, the machine gun and rifle up on the ridge will move to 1906.
No opportunity fire.
And yeah, that lot you are on in 1707 will move to 1907. That's illegal. They'll have to move to 1908.
Which is illegal? This is not illegal.
Wouldn't that be 3?
Where
They're going up a ridge.
Oh, these ridges are small enough, so no. That counts for
Okay.
vehicles, not for infantry.
Okay, in that case, yeah.
Good question. I got you.
The rifle group in 1708 will go to 1908.
1708. Yeah, so pretty much sound the bugle, everyone
Yep.
rushes to the, technically the north. Alright?
Yes. The engineers with the truck in 1408
Yep.
will mount the truck.
Get in the truck. They're in the truck. That's 7 points of movement.
And then they will move to 1708.
Ooh. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They can do it. So people in the chat, trucks with wheels, they have to pay double movement rate when they're on broken ground. When they're on open ground. They're not like all-terrain vehicles.
They're not really designed for going across country.
That's what half tracks are for. So tracked vehicles move normally. Wheeled vehicles usually have to pay double when off-road. There are some exceptions, like some German armored cars. It depends.
And let's see, then we got another engineer there that will
Get in the truck.
get... yes.
He's in the truck. That costs 7 points.
And then he'll end up in 1509. And then I think we got trucks and we got the... now we got all of the oddballs.
Yep. Did you want to do anything with these Jeeps before we leave this little area? Just checking.
They count as trucks or...
Yeah, for movement. They're combat
yeah,
units.
but-
I get points for killing them. So be
okay,
careful.
the combat units. In that case, they'll move down to the road.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that they're on the road, they get double movement rate.
Yep, so straight down the road as far as the road will take them.
So that was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Keep them at 24-18.
Yeah,
Middle of the depression.
Jeeps are nippy once they get going, once they get on a road.
And the steward there.
Yep, your little recon battle group here.
That were now joined by the jeeps. The steward will move on the road until 2619. Then he'll go to 2718.
1, 2, 2.5, 3. Hold on. Let me just get a little. 1,
Yes.
2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. Then which way are they going?
Yeah, it's 17, 18, or 27,
4.5. They can go wherever they want. Yeah, they got 11 movement points. We're only on like what, 4.5. All right, so are they stopping there?
Keep them there for now.
Okay.
And then the scouts will go down the road to 26, 19.
Okay. 1, 2.5. How can that be? 1, 2, 2.5, 3.5, 4, 4.5. Those I didn't want to because I don't know if you want to dismount them. So it costs half your movement rate to dismount them. You got 4.5 spent so far out of 10.
That was exactly why I wanted them there
Okay.
so I can dismount.
Get out of the truck.
At least dismount the first one.
Alright, you put the other one in the hex as well?
Yeah, you only got the one sitting on the objective and the one up there. Yeah, I might as well put it in the hex even if they don't dismount.
Yeah, because if they dismount, guys, it causes a stacking problem and some half-tracks get wrecked. So that's why I just want to do it. Okay, on to our little western battle group. Or technically our southern battle group. What are our god-awful Fargos doing?
The Fargo is going one south.
1, 2.
No, actually, don't do that. Go to 13, 14.
1, 2.
Through the wood.
3, 4, 5.
11. Yeah,
6,
don't
7.
keep in the wood. Yeah. And 10, 16.
That's all his movement. Oh, 10, 16, sorry. Yeah, that's...
Well, actually, place him in the wood.
Yeah.
That's...
Trust me, that little thing wants some cover. Because, that's pretty sad. Alright, we got all your stewards and other stuff over here.
Yeah, the 2 stack stewards.
Yep.
One of them will go into the tip of the wood. Yeah.
414. The other one stays there, or?
The other one will go to 517.
Okay.
No, keep him in the wood. I thought that
no
was...
worries. No worries.
That's just me misreading. Then we'll dismount the guns.
Yeah,
that's the one.
People in the chat, he reached that hex last turn, but didn't have the movement rate to dismount. So now he's going to dismount. Is the truck going to stay there or displace?
The truck will go 1 north.
Okay, then we do cat attacks, which are going to be nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so I'm assuming that's both of these companies?
Yeah.
Or
We'll go into that one.
Company-sized battle groups. Cool. So we've got a grand total of 10 points. Coming at my 10 points. 1 to 1. Subtract. 3 from the die roll. 2 for being a cat attack. For people in the chat, CAT stands for Close Assault Tactics. We're not actually attacking them with cats, sadly. That would probably be a more interesting stream. However, Close Assault Tactics is basically a bayonet charge. 5 plus 5 is 10. 2, 2, and 1. Rinse and repeat. 10 versus my 10 becomes 1 to 1. Subtract,
2 of them are engineers. So
subtract 2 from the die roll for being a Close Assault Tactic. Make that another 1 because of engineers, so subtract 3 from the die roll. Again, subtractions to the die roll are a bonus in this game. You want to roll low in this game. I know you know all this, Rasmus, but for people in the chat.
Yes.
Add 1 to the die roll for woods. So 1 to 1, subtract 2 from the die roll. Is the net.
I won.
Oh, everyone's smoked.
So -2.
Technically subtract 4 from the die roll because he was dispersed, but the other one does not get that. Long story short, take your first shot. I tell you what, after this internet problem, I feel like taking a shot. But, leaving that aside, They are smoked. Yeah, I don't expect the French to win this battle. So far, the kill ratio is 9-1. They could win the game. Okay, that concludes. Oh, one more thing you have to do. So roll a d6 and see if more French units.
What about the guys next to the lighthouse?
Oh, there's another cat attack coming in. You're right. Sorry. Ooh, are they going to cat attack the lighthouse?
No, they're gonna go for the gun first.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, this is going to be a little bit tougher. You got a grand total of 3 points. 2 points, so it's 1-1. Okay, tell you what I'm going to do. Turn on Mr. Camera. Okay, you have to subtract 2, or you get to subtract 2 because of cat attack. Subtract 1 because of engineers when they're with you. Add 2 for my improved positions. So it is 1-1. Subtract 1 from the die roll.
Never mind.
Oh.
It becomes a 5.
6 becomes a 5. Assault repulsed. The French stand fast.
And then the last one of the cat attack is going to be a slaughter.
Oh god, I see what you're talking about. I forgot all about this one. Ugh, my poor Frenchies. He's a speed bump guy. He was basically defensive reconnaissance. Shove the enemy back in his deployment phase. Oh Lord have mercy.
Good news is there's no engineers involved.
Who cares, man? Well, it's only 1-1. Oh, 2-1. You got 5 units. 5 units in there, 2 points apiece. 10 points versus my 5. 2-1. Subtract 2 from the die roll.
Roll the 4 becomes a 2.
On 2-1 is a kill. Cool. All right, so with that
opened things up a bit up there.
That concludes your close assaults.
I think so. Yes.
Sweet. We go to French turn 2.
And rolled a 2 so nobody did.
Nobody actually surrendered this time.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So French turn 2. I have to deploy my artillery. Let's see here. Write this down. 2 comes in on turn 3. Writing down the hex. Cool, writing down the hex. Okay, current artillery lands on this hex right here.
Oh.
1806. So once I pinned one guy down, and then I think my mortars pinned down the other one. Yeah, we had that pretty much pre-sighted. There's only one battery, but it is 155 millimeters, relatively modern. I mean, not really, 1917. So it's 20 points, but it affects everything in the hex individually, and I get to subtract 1 from the roll because units are dispersed. Furthermore, again, I know you know this, Rasmus, but for people in the chat, if I score a double D, it's considered destroyed because he's already dispersed. So you roll a D6. If you get a D, he's dispersed, pinned, disrupted, whatever phrase you want to use. And if he's already in that state, not only do you get to subtract 1 from your die roll, but a double D will actually finish him off. So I'm pretty sure these two guys are smoked. 20 points versus 6, that's 3-1. I get to subtract 1 from the die roll, and a double D will do it. My favorite die result, my favorite bra size. Sorry, had to be done. 1, talk about wasting a 1. And now 5-1. 20 more points against 4. 5-1. Subtract 1 from the die roll. I don't think he can survive. The worst I can roll is a modified 5, which is on 5-1. He's totally smoked. All right, that's 4 kills, guys.
So now I almost am forced to take this certain objective.
Yep.
For the big city itself.
Port Lottie.
Yep.
Is that even in the right hex? 1806. That was the wrong hex. Not that it matters. These little small columns have no game effect, unlike the red counters, which do have a slight game effect. All right. That's it for my artillery phase. Direct fire phase. Took opportunity fire. Took opportunity fire. Nothing in range or line of sight. I can't see over that elevation line. Can't see over that elevation line. He's busy. He's going to try and take a poke at that dispersed unit. 5 versus 6, 1 to 2 odds. Subtract 1 from the die roll. A double D will do it. 3 becomes a 2. I think you smoked. 1 to 2 odds. I just rolled a modified 2. Double D. He's already dispersed. 5 American kills. We've sort of worked out the victory conditions beforehand, audience. Rasmus now has to take all 5 objective hexes. Otherwise, the French win the game. That is it for my direct fire, because my army's pitiful. I mean, you see how fast I'm dying. French movement phase. Oh, let me try to rally my commanders. Colonel, come on, do it. French morale is a C, not a D, so I rally on a 1, 2, or a 3. 2, he rallies. Movement phase. Anyone who didn't shoot, get in the Casbah. It's the nightclub. It's the Casbah. Get in the nightclub, baby. Can't move because he took opportunity fire. I almost just moved him.
That one in front of the Casbah you could potentially move.
This guy right here. Yeah, but I want to keep some kind of line.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like a speed bump. Alright, that's it for French movement. Again, the French turns are going to be pretty quick. No cat attacks. That's it for French turn. American turn 3. Start by calling in your new artillery. Wow, people are coming back. We got 6 people in chat now. Thanks, everybody. Again, I apologize. I apologize and don't apologize for the internet problem. I don't own the cable company. If we turn off our internet, I can't do anything about that. But we did come back up as soon as we could, and we're definitely glad that you came back with us.
Yes,
Right.
it's been plotted.
New artillery's plotted. Last turn's artillery resolves. Oh God.
Yep.
Here it comes.
It's the Savannah, yes?
Yep.
Firing at your artillery.
Oh, cool. Counter battery fire. All right, so again, folks, we have a special rule where his off-board artillery can target my off-board artillery. So shells are literally, again, I know people like to play miniature games, but even at this scale, which if these hexes were one...
First gun from the Savannah.
Okay, give me 1 second. Are you able to hear me, Rasmus? We lose Rasmus again? Rasmus, are you able to hear me? Hello, Rasmus, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Oh, I accidentally turned off the microphone for a second. I thought we lost internet again. Okay, give me just 1 second. For everyone in the chat who could hopefully... I'm sorry if my sound turned off for a second there. That was my fault. That wasn't the internet's problem. Yeah, these hexes are 200 meters across, so if these hexes were 1 inch on your physical table, it'd be 1 to 10,000, roughly. Even at that scale, shells are flying off the table to other targets off the table. Okay, so a 1 or a 2 indicates the French battery's been destroyed. A 3 indicates it's been suppressed. You're putting both of Savannah's batteries in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you got 2 chances. What did you roll?
First one was 3, and the second one a 2.
Okay, so he's first dispersed, and then destroyed. Okay, my sound engineer is telling me that my sound was always fine. It wasn't fine in Skype. I actually somehow my Skype microphone got turned off. So you guys could hear me, Rasmus couldn't. Alright, so I've just lost my offboard artillery. No worries, that's what happened historically. Alright, then I'm sure you had some other offboard or some other indirect artillery?
The rest is going into the lighthouse, so that's the 70, the one down the back, and the mortars. They fired. So
that's right, they fired direct fire. So these two guys, these two batteries?
Those two batteries and the mortars.
Okay, we got a grand total of 20 points. Cool. It affects everything equally. Alright, so 20 points versus 4. 5 to 1, you have to add 2 to the die. Oh, that's concrete buildings. 20 points versus 9. So how concrete buildings work, you have to add 5 to the defense and 1 to the die roll. So 20 to 4 is 20 to 9. 2 to 1, add 2 to the die roll.
2 become a 4.
Pinned. 20 to 7 is still technically an ugly 2 to 1. Add 2 to the die roll.
A1.
1 becomes a 3, he's still dispersed. Yeah, with this much artillery, you can't kill him. You either have to bring in Savannah, or remember you have aircraft, or you have to assault him. All right, now this one might be 1 to 1. In fact, yes, 11, because 6 plus 5 is 11.
Yeah, never mind.
Oh, okay. No
6.
6 becomes a modified 8 on the 1 to,
8.
Modified 8. No, you're right. I'm thinking it's a fortification. It's not. It's a building. So I have to add 2 to that. Okay, cool. So that concludes artillery. We then go to your direct fire.
So, yeah, the priest and friends will get the same hex again.
Rinse and repeat. They got a good position. They're going after that 75 millimeter battery.
Yes.
Cool. That is 25. Make that 50. Oh no. 50 versus 2. That's 25 to 1 odds. The table stops at 7 to 1. That makes. Well, we're in direct fire now. Do you want to change any of that? Just 25 to 1.
There's only one.
Okay.
There's only one in there, so.
All right. Well, my point is that it's direct fire. So this is like the secret sauce of Panzer Leader. You bombard them with offboard artillery, then you hit them with direct fire artillery, then you assault them. So because this is direct fire, you didn't have to set this up in advance. Do any of those guys want to shoot at different targets? I.e. different hexes. You're allowed to do that. Direct fire, you don't have to set it up in advance. Otherwise, we're rolling at 25 to 1, which reduces to 7 to 1, just because.
Actually, the priest will shoot at the lighthouse instead.
Okay. And in case anyone asks, yes, those dispersed results do count. This is how you play Panzer Leader, or I should say how you win at Panzer Leader. Direct, indirect artillery, followed by these different phases happen. Indirect artillery, air phase, direct artillery, close assault, overrun. You can attack the same hex like 6 times in a row, or what, a total of 5 different times in the same turn. And again, we saw how dispersed units become more and more vulnerable, and you can chew down these fortified stacks pretty quickly if you set up your attack just right. It's not being gamey, it's called actually using real life combined arms.
So using the tactics.
Yeah, the tactics and technology of the day. So 26 versus. Okay, are you affecting everything in the hex or just one unit?
Will affect everything.
All right, so it stays at 13 then. 13, but it affects everything. It's a trade-off. So 13. First versus 7. Add 1 to the die roll. 1 to 1. Add 1. Subtract 1 because he's dispersed. So just 1 to 1.
So 2.
He's inside concrete buildings. It goes up to 7. So 13 divided by 7 is 1 to 1.
Yep.
So 1 to 1.
And roll the 2.
Roll the 2, no modifiers. You get +1 for buildings, -1 for being dispersed. 2 is double dispersed. On 1 to 1 table, you smoked. It also affects this guy. 13 to 9. I mean, we have to add 5 to everything. These are tough hexes. 13 to 9, 1 to 1, same thing. 1 to 1, no modifiers.
3.
3 is also killed because 3 is a double dispersal on the 1 to 1 table. Yeah, dispersed units are easy to kill. 13 versus.
That was why I thought I would try to affect the whole hex.
Totally. It's working out. 13 versus 11. Add 1 to the die roll.
It comes to 7.
That's the second 6. These guys like a little force field around them. It's just super lucky. Alright, I'll straighten all that mess out later.
And then we got the 2 half tracks. The 2 technicals.
Yes. Now they can shoot at anybody. They're going to shoot at the original target.
Yep.
Cool.
Yes.
12 to 6 to 1. You have to add 2 to the die roll.
Becomes a 4. Roll the 2.
What did I say? 12 versus 2, and you roll the 2, became a 4. So on 6 to 1, he smoked, even with his improved position. So there's improved positions. There's wooden buildings. There's
concrete buildings.
Concrete buildings, fortifications. They all have slightly different rolls. See, affect the die roll in different ways. All right, cool. So I know it looks crazy, but right now, technically speaking, well, the French are hella winning. 1,
Oh yeah.
2, 3, 4 by their fingernails. Right now, the score is 50 to 10. But again,
50 to 5.
5. Yes, you're right.
But it might not look like that on the field, but
well, again, it's the battle is fair or the game is fair. Also, the French the French battalion is withering with pretty sobering speed, and there's now a gap in their trench line. Their improved positions have now been breached, and I can't even
big guns.
shuffle stuff around there.
I think that's it for direct fire.
Sweet. We then go to movement. Oh no, we have to try to rally some people. Try to rally this dude.
Nope, on the fall.
I think that was the only one.
Everybody else that got suppressed
Got blew up.
dispersed.
Got really dispersed.
Gone.
Our bodies got dispersed all over the desert. Sweet. So then we go to your movement.
So, let's see. We'll start with the top. The machine gun and a rifle. The rifle will move 1 down into the... No, I can't do that because there's a red counter. That's why I only had 2 in there. They will move down into the improved position in that case.
The rifle platoon goes 1, 2.
Yes.
I'm thinking. The mortars, sadly for me, are busy. And the other guys, it's not really worth it. But you're going to cat attack me if I don't. So 2 and 2. This is a crap move, but otherwise, yeah, you can cat attack the ever-living crap out of me if I don't do something. All right, opportunity fire 1 and 2 becomes 4 points. Unfortunately, I can't see you until you enter my IP, so now you get that bonus. Why am I doing this? Because you're going to get cat attacked if I don't. It's a terrible 1 to 2. I have to add 2 to the die roll. Is that even mathematically worth it? I have to roll a 1 to even pin them down. All right, it's the worst move ever, but it's desperation time. Come on, give me a 1.
It's a French move.
Yeah. 3. No, he missed. Predictably. Okay.
And
got away with it. And who else?
then his machine gun will follow him. And the rifle platoon, no, not from that one, from the guys down on the ridge.
These guys here?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, continue with movement.
Yes. Let's see, they have now fired, so the first stack, the one in 2208, will move to 2307. Oh, no, 2408.
2408?
No, 22. You had the right stack.
Oh,
they'll move 2308 and then 2408.
Believe it or not, those mortars do not shoot. I would love to. It's illegal for me to shoot.
That they've been set up for doing some.
Doing an indirect mission. Which they probably won't get to do now, but c'est la vie.
The stack in
2008?
19. Yeah, we could do those as well.
Okay.
They'll move to 2208. And the stack in 19, the middle stack.
Yep.
Yep. That'll move straight up to, yep. And then we'll move the lone machine gun to 2008 and join him up with the rifles next to him.
Alright, how about these two guys?
Those two, send them to 2007. And the engineer is in the...
And trucks?
Yep. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they can drive all the way up to the top of the ridge. Up to the road on the ridge.
Oh, they're going north?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And then they'll dismount there. The other one will hit the road. So
1,
straight
2,
south.
3, 4.
And then they will go as far as they can down the road.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and a half. 10 and a half. 12.
Yeah, that'll keep them in the depression for now.
Alright. Okay. Any movement here to the west? It is turn 3. The French armor arrives this turn.
Yeah. I think we are set up against the armor as we will be with the guns set up out there. The big guns have fired, so can't move them. Got a bunch of trucks in the middle. Oh well, they're just trucks, so...
Yeah, trucks don't count.
Yeah.
Half tracks count. Trucks don't. Half tracks are armored and they carry weapons, so they're combat units.
The scouts, the dismounted scout.
Yep, dismounted scout.
He'll move through the hex with the steward and into the wood.
Got it.
Any opportunity fire on that?
No. Thank you, so kind for your offer.
Yeah, the other scout will
We saw what happened to
dismount.
the Casbah. We don't want.
And then he'll move down the road and into the first hex of the city.
The half tracks or the scout himself can't move. The half tracks can totally move, including the half track that just dismounted him has half of his movement left.
The other half track we will move up with the scout. And then we'll move the steward into 28, 19. And yeah, they'll send the jeeps up to it, and the one jeep and the half track.
One jeep and the half track go where?
Up next to the steward. No, on the same hex as the steward.
Oh, gotcha.
A scout fire team, so to speak.
Totally.
And the last.
Yeah, that was a pretty good move because I was like, do I want a cat attack? I can cat attack the shit out of that hex. The problem is, well, now I can. Yeah, alright, that may have been a good move.
And the other jeep will sneak along the bottom of the depression.
Okay. Like.
Yeah, it's up next to the French flag.
I got you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, put him up on the hex with the French flag, so 29, 16. Yeah, that one.
Alright.
Just to see if we can lure anybody out. I think that's it for my movement.
Sweet. Alright, cool. We then go to French, turn 3.
What about cat attacks?
Oh, sorry. And also, the surrender phase. Oh god. What cat attacks? You don't want to launch any cat attacks. Okay. There are no cat attacks happening. Actually,
yeah.
That's not true. There are tons of cat attacks happening. Oh god. Oh no. Alright, cool. How do you want to split this up? Because you got a couple choices here.
Yeah. Let's start with the one on the mortars.
That's a simple one. Cool. Yeah.
Exactly.
Those are wooden buildings, sadly for me, so I don't have to add 5 to my defense. You can tell people in the chat by the color. So it is 5 points versus 4 points, 1-to-1 odds. Net subtract 2 from the die roll.
2, so it becomes a 0.
They're smoked. Big time. Okay.
And then we'll put the 2 stacks into the lighthouse.
Alright, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 11. It's 1-to-2 odds, believe it or not. However, you get to subtract 3 from the die roll, add 1 for my concrete buildings. So it's 1-to-2, net subtract 2.
Rolled a 1, so...
negative 1 on the 1-to-2 row, I think, is a kill. Yep. So that is 1 more unit smoked. Stack the bodies, stacking bodies. All these smoke. Every one of these smoke units is a bolt action army destroyed. So that's the kind of battle we're playing. This is a small Panzer Leader game.
Yeah.
Okay, and we the only one left here is this 5 to 6 1 to 2 odds, no modifiers.
Nothing like the backhanded blow.
Oh, God.
Roll the 6.
No effect.
Comfortable.
No, it stays a 6. You subtract 2
Yeah.
for your cat attack,
Oh,
and 2
yeah.
for my improved position.
You were in improved position, not the abilities.
So, I think that's it for cats. Before I say that, let me not make
Yep.
another mistake. Alright, French turn 3. Plot artillery. This is going to be nice and fast, because I have none. My offboard
And
is...
none of your units run away.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I forgot to... Okay, so you rolled for that? Thank you.
Yep.
My artillery, I don't have any artillery, because I've lost my offboard and I've lost my mortars. So we can skip those 2 turns for the rest of the French... By the way, that just saved this unit's life.
Yep.
Cool. So that's it for that. We then go to direct fire. Direct fire, he says. Like I have direct fire. I have a colonel with a cup of coffee and a pistol. I have 1 rifle platoon in there still. You know what? We're just going to Alamo. But I'll get to that in the movement phase. So no direct fire here. Oh, I can't. He took opportunity fire. Damn it. I can't do that. Alright, can this guy see anything? I don't think he really can. I do have a shot there. From elevation to elevation, not clipping the lighthouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's only 1 to 1. You never know, I might roll a 1. Do it! Do it! Anti-aircraft guns chopping up his anti-tank batteries. Do it! Nope. Pinned him down. Barely. Because all this other stuff is either screened. Yeah, it's all screened. I would love to shoot at this guy. I would murder his ass. The problem is he's on the beach. He's not on high ground. So I have to shoot down through the lip of my ridge there. I can't do it.
So you would need to move forward and then shoot, and moving forward might not be healthy.
Well, he has a 0 movement rate and no trucks, so yeah, he's not moving anywhere. It's a fixed AA position. Alright, cool. So, speaking of movement, that's it for my direct fire. On to movement.
I might be cat attacked.
It depends. Are you taking opportunity fire?
He might as well take the opportunity to fire on the first one.
Cool. 1 to 3 odds. You never know.
3.
I don't think that's any effect. 1 to 3 on 3 is a miss.
So I might lose a jeep.
Other movement. Road movement rate. Just to make it take an extra turn. I'm playing for time here at this point. I mean, look at my armor is like what?
Yeah.
6, 7 counters. Although,
Well,
here comes some
until
friends. Here comes some friends. Dun, 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 dun. Reinforcements from the French.
So now it might be the time that I start to look at my.
Yep. What am I gonna do? Conventional wisdom says to go after the I'll get the crap kicked out of me trying to overrun his 57mm batteries. I'll lose at least 1 tank platoon. I'll overrun that and a truck, but who cares about the truck? The tempting thing for people in the chat is that I can kind of retake the beach and roll up his flank and kill some more of these soft units over here. But what's also going to happen is I'm going to get flanked in turn and pinned up against the ocean. And that's going to be the end of my tanks. So I'll keep my options open. The problem is nothing here is overrunnable. Yes, that's a word. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do what happened historically. Opportunity fire, I'm assuming?
Yeah. We'll start with the...
Only one
yeah.
unit. I think only one unit can see him.
Yeah, because he comes in on the road and then disappear down in the...
Well, actually, he starts off here. 1, 2.
Okay, yeah. Then it's a viewpoint. Only one can see him.
So 10 to 5 is 2 to 1. Because you double point blank range. He is pinned down. His buddy comes in. And another one of his buddies comes in. 2 to 1, subtract 2 from the die roll. That's 4. Oh boy. Okay, 1 movement point. This guy's gonna have a rougher ride. 2 movement points. Any opportunity fire? Give me a second to get a... Let me zoom in so we can see what's going on here, because this is going to get a little... So 1 point, no opportunity fire from this anti-tank gun. I wasn't visible enough. Down here in the depression, trying to use terrain. Unfortunately for me, both those Stuarts can see him, if they want.
Yeah.
They don't both have to shoot. There's many more French tanks coming. They are both within half range. They're both within 2 hexes, I should say. They both would double.
We'll fire the one that's down in the hole.
Okay, so 10 to 4 is 2 to 1.
Rolled a 1.
Boom, smoked him. Yeah, this is where historically these guys got a little desperate. All right, any more opportunity fire on?
We'll fire the other one.
All right.
A 3.
3 on 2 to 1 is dispersed. I only had 4 of these. One's burning, one's dispersed. I have 2 left. Okay, good. Okay, the third one comes in there, and that's all that can fit in that hex. Which sucks for me, because the next guy is going to have to eat additional opportunity fire. Because there's no more room in this depression. There's no more room in this depression. This guy has to stay on the high ground, which means he's crossfired between these 2 anti-tank batteries.
Yes. And let's see, we'll fire the southern one on him.
Okay, he is just 9 points, because he's not within 2 hexes. So 9 to 4 is 2 to 1 odds.
That one.
Smoked. Well, I'm paying for it, that's for sure. It's more fun this way. This is a little like the backhand blow, but a smaller version. I just massed that Russian T-70 assault, and just like, they'll run out of ammunition eventually. The Germans are like, the hell we will. Alright, crap, I've only got 1 tank left. He's going for it. He who dares wins.
And the other gun will take opportunity to fire.
Okay, same roll, 2 to 1.
No, it's
1 to 1. Thank you.
1 to 1. 5.
No effect. Alright, cool. I might take out 2 Stuarts. Come on. There's 1 stacking point left in there. It's literally not going to help to do that, so I won't do it. I'll do this. He's going to try to overrun the anti-tank guns. This anti-air, 1, 2, 3, 4, he's out of range. Motorcycles! French motorcycles.
Motorcycles can attack or...
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if they overrun or cat attack. They're technically vehicles, but not really. I honestly don't even know how that works. And I'm not going to look it up, so I'm not even going to worry about it. But just for fun, we're going to pretend that these motorcycles are overrunning the anti-tank guns. There's a rule for it, but I don't remember what it is. I'd have to look in like 3 or 4 different books. Motorcycles are not included in base Panzer Leader, so it wouldn't just be in the Panzer Leader rulebook. You know what they can overrun? I know they can overrun trucks, which don't count as combat units anyway, so it won't even affect the score of the game.
I'm fine with them overrunning the gun, especially when they're coming along with the cars. So
I honestly don't know. I can't remember if they're allowed. There's a weird thing where they're both vehicles and infantry. They're like this hybrid unit, like bicycles. Okay, technically that's a vehicle. Can you overrun with bicycles? No, this isn't a BMX rally. You know, and then cavalry. Okay, cavalry is technically just 4-legged infantry in this game. They do cat attacks. They just have a higher attack factor when they move faster. But I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I think we're done with opportunity fire. We're done with French movement. I've lost 10 tanks already. Everything else is gone. Or has moved, I should say. Okay, we're going to go ahead and overrun. So first of all, I have these 2 on him. That is 10-5, 2-1 odds. He's in a clear hex, so I'm good. He's in a clear hex, so the overrun is legal. That becomes a grand total of 2-1 odds, subtract 2 from the die roll. Three to 1 odds, because this close assault, or this overrun probably isn't going to work anyway. So 1, 2, 3 is going to be 3-1 odds, subtract 2 from the die roll. I basically need anything but a 6. I shouldn't have said that because now I'm going to roll a 6. Oops, now I get a 1. Alright, but nevertheless, an American tank is burning. When's the last time? I literally don't have a wreck counter yet. Wow, that was pretty sweet. It cost me a lot. In fact, it cost me at least 2 tanks. It's going to cost me more by the time this is over with. Because a lot of my tanks are now dispersed. This other cat attack, or overrun attack, is pretty much doomed to fail. 1 to 2, subtract 2 from the die roll, because 4 against 5 is a 1 to 2 roll, 1 to 2 check. Nevertheless, I get to subtract 2 from the die roll. Now would be a good time for that 1, Mr. Dice. What do you say? Now I get a 6. Okay, so no effect on that overrun. 1 to 1, subtract 2 from the die roll. Boom, he smoked. The points, they're racking up. And then this doesn't count because it's not really a unit, but 2 to 1 is 2 to 1, subtract 2 from the die roll, just for fun. Here come the French motorcycles, doing a drive-by on some empty American trucks. The American truck driver, he just opened up his hoagie sandwich, poured himself a cup of coffee. Next thing you know, here comes some crazed French motorcyclists yelling "Sacre Bleu!" Hell yeah. For no reason. The roll that doesn't matter. Of course I get a 1 for that one. Alright, so I'm just going to delete the truck so we don't count him accidentally. The anti-tank battery, however, does count as a unit for points. Alright, cool. And that is it for the French turn. Oh my god. I have to make room for more French kills.
No, it's not it for the turn. You've got a cat attack.
Oh, that's right. I got a cat attack down here. Grand total of 4 to 1. Subtract 2 from the die roll. That means a 6. He smoked. Even if I roll a 6. I think that was the only cat attack. Everything else is doomed. Yeah, we're doomed. It's just, can we bloody some noses and use up some time? That concludes turn 3. Go for snacks and come back. Charge of the Light Brigade. Yeah, kind of. I mean, we lost 2 for 2, but now I'm going to get, pretty badly beat up here because I'm sure the American airstrikes are going to come in, and that's going to be some fun. They're not as powerful as you'd think, but it's not like he's going to need them anywhere else. Also, the Savannah. So, All right.
Yeah.
Let me start turn 4. Okay, cool. Plot your artillery, please.
That's easily done this turn, I think.
I should say the French do not get split move and fire. So even if I rally a unit or a tank that turn, he does not get to
It won't
move.
move.
Yep.
It won't move. So yeah.
We're still using 1940s tactics and clearly equipment, which means radios. Or let me reverse all that. We're using 1940s equipment, thus tactics, i.e. radios. Yeah, there's no split move and fire.
You're for French, no radio. Flag out the top of the tank.
So cool. Let's do your artillery you had from last mission.
Yeah, that is actually very easily done because the Savannah is a shooting counter battery fire.
Oh no! Well, there's no more counter battery for it. Yeah, cool. So he was hedging.
Exactly.
He was hedging against the miss last turn. No worries.
And the mortars are firing at the cash bar.
Okay, mortars and these 2 howitzer batteries, or no?
No.
Okay, cool. So just the mortars.
Just the mortars.
6 points. Yeah, this is going to be like harassment fire, but still. 6 points against. Well, it affects everything in the hex equally. So 6 against 13 is 1 to 3. Add 2 to the die roll. You have to roll a 1.
5.
And then 16 against 6. That is also 1 to 3. You have to roll a 1.
3 on that one.
Okay. So yeah, a little bit of shrapnel scattering around inside the Casbah. No worries. All right.
Again, I wanted to be able to fire the howitzers in
Direct fire mode.
coming in.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah, those tanks are in trouble now, for sure. Speaking of which, let's go to your direct fire phase. So Dennis Cross says, the big O charges in with Hell's Angels. Hell yeah, man. Don't mess with us. We even got our little helmets on, aren't we, Spiffy? We blew up some empty American trucks. There's a rule for that in there. Oh, you know what it is? No, they can't they might be They may be able to overrun a non-armored unit because they have an I-class attack factor, but they definitely can't overrun tanks because machine gun bullets bounce off tanks. But anyway,
That would make sense.
yeah, you have to have an A-class weapon to overrun an armored target. That might have been the rule I'm thinking of, but there's some kind of weird caveat. Well, the exception and the exception to the exception. 20 minutes looking for it. It happens so rarely. How many times do you get to overrun somebody with motorcycles? Shakos and Spruce says release the depth charges.
They'll come in this turn as well, yeah.
Okay, so first we do. Well, actually, it would happen now because we're done with indirect fire. Next is air phase. Right? Did I do that right? Yeah, air phase happens before direct fire.
Okay, so yeah, we got some aircrafts. We got a heck of a lot of aircrafts.
And I'm pretty sure there's only 1 or 2. Well, you've already destroyed 1. There's only 1 other French anti-aircraft unit on the table, so stay outside of 10 hexes of him, and you don't even have to take flak fire.
Yep. So we'll start with a how is it they work? Is it against everything on the hex, or
no,
is it against a specific?
They're just regular H's, so you have to actually pick a target and drop it. But you can put as many as you want on a hex. Again, the only other issue, they are H's, so they have against armored targets. No one has rockets yet. These are just straight up high explosive bombs.
So we'll start by sending an adventure against the motorcycles.
The Avenger. Okay, here's the sentence I never thought I'd say. The U.S. Navy Avenger is going to drop a depth charge on French motorcycles. You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. I promise you, you'll never hear that again.
What counts against you ever hearing that again?
Yeah, 10. I'm still amazed I'm hearing it this time. 10-2. That's 5-1 odds. Go for it.
I won.
I smoked him. Surprise, surprise. A Navy Avenger torpedo bomber, retrofitted with depth charges, just dropped the depth charge in the middle of 5 French motorcycles, and that's the end of the motorcycles. Now these guys get to hang around the table and continue to shoot their 2-point machine gun attacks, which surprisingly does add up. So when you put like 6 of them together, that's 12 free eye points. It does do damage against certain things, but he's used up his ordnance. You got 5 airstrikes left.
Yep. We will take the next one of the Avengers against the armored cars.
Okay. Now here it's going to be 5 versus 2, 2-1, because the armored car is armored.
Yes. Nothing. 5.
Okay.
If we go down to the southern part.
Okay. Oh, the map. Gotcha.
Then we'll send in an adventure against the top one of the close assault guys.
Okay. That's a soft target, so it does not have 10-6 is 1-1.
A 3.
Dispersed.
And
The actual
here
dive
comes the
bombers.
overkill. Here comes the overkill. We'll take a dive bomber against the other one down there.
Oh, you're not gonna. Okay. You want to spread those out at all? You got 60 points. That'd be 10-1.
No. I said 1.
Oh.
A dive bomber.
Sorry. So yeah, 3-1. 20-6.
A 3.
You smoked. Barely, but it got the job done.
Can I see the guys in the city?
Nope, because they haven't fired yet.
I thought so. So
Now you don't have to use up all your aircraft, but
yeah. I think I will keep those 2.
okay. So 2 Avengers, 2 Dauntlesses are still in your off-board support package. Oh, your off-board support package. Cool. All right, direct fire.
So let's see. What can that top howitzer see? Can it see anything?
He can see armored cars. He can see these tanks.
So we'll.
I apologize. He can see these tanks.
He can't see the armored car. Yeah.
No.
So he'll take a shot at them.
Okay. So that anyone else shooting at him too? Because
let's see. We'll actually shoot both of those 2 howitzers.
okay. Just because you were asking before, this howitzer can see because he kind of shoots up the shoulder of that ridge. That guy has to shoot straight up that ridge so he can see.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you still putting both those howitzer batteries?
Both of them into the tank. Yeah.
Okay. The dispersed platoon, or the platoon that's in good order? Oh, sorry. It's this one.
It's the one up on the road. So.
My bad. You're right. You're totally right. Cool. So that is 7 + 7. H-class weapons divides down to 7. So it is 7-5, 1-1.
A 2.
Disperse them. Okay. That is, I think that's it for direct fire over there. Ooh. This battery can hit that guy. So, we already did that, but let's say that these 2 were in there, plus this guy would get 4. So that's 7-4. That's 11. 2-1. Yeah, he smoked. Wait a minute. Yeah, 7 + 4 is 11-5. 2-1 odds. What did you roll?
I can't remember. 4, I think. Or the 3.
Oh, well, 3 doesn't kill him at 2-1 odds.
So keep him around.
Okay.
Because that one can also see the armored cars. If I am not.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he just can't reach. Talk about this guy here. He just can't reach.
Okay, he can't reach them. But the priest and its
Oof. The T-19.
friend, yeah, they can see them because they're on the same elevation. And,
They can see the armored cars, yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So,
Oh, oh no. 20 becomes 10, 5-1 odds.
that's 3.
Smoked. Yeah, that time his luck ran out. My poor armored cars. Why?
Priest and direct fire is
Yes.
effective.
Armored firepower. Stu 42s, ISU 152s, ISU 122s. Priests, sextons. Yeah. Armored H-class firepower. Does not mess around. Everyone wants a panther. Everyone wants a tiger. Fuck that. Give me a couple priests. Trust me.
Yeah, I think that's it for direct fire. Can't see anything. Suppressed. Can't see anything.
Alright.
Yeah. Think that would be it.
Then we go to your movement phase.
Actually,
We have to rally some stuff.
yeah, and I actually think I might have one down south. No, there's a wood in between.
I don't know if you want to give away your position. No, probably not.
No, I thought the steward might have had a beat on him, but it was the steward is hiding behind the wood instead,
Right.
doing stewardy things, I guess.
Just as a rules point, that half track can reach him, but only with 1 point, so it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Also illegal, so never mind. It's a 1-6 attack, even if he's dispersed. All right.
So
Time
movement.
for some movement.
Yeah, if we zoom in on the Casbah area.
Oh God,
First.
this hurricane of steel. Ugh. That op fire counter is from last turn.
We'll start by moving the guys that catapulted the mortars one up. And then let's see, we'll take the rifle platoons in 2007.
2007, got it.
And they'll move to 22-7.
Okay, gotta do it. Just real quick. We'll also wrap up my turn pretty much. 1, 2 is 4 points versus 6. That's 1 to 4 odds. Boop. I mean 1 to 2 odds. Dispersed them. One of them. Alright, and that's opportunity fire for these 2 axes. Or these 2 units.
Yes.
Cool.
So that means that the guys next to the lighthouse can move into the lighthouse.
These 2 or these 3?
Those 2. And then we'll send in one of the rifles from the...
Dear Lord. Top. What the hell? Oh, I see what's going on. Stupid smoke's in the way. Alright. Got it.
And the engineers in 1906 will move up and join the guys in an improved position.
Alright.
Because why not? That's why we got engineers.
Totally.
And then in 2208, they'll move up to 2307. Because they need we need extra firepower to counterattack that truck.
He is in an improved position. I mean, you're laughing, but he does get to add 2 to his die roll. But I'm pretty sure that truck is toast. How about this little battle group down here?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out what we want to do with. Just move them to 2208. And yeah, we need to rally that one, the two guys at the end of the direct fire.
Okay. Had to get rid of a spammer there real quick. I apologize. I was getting rid of a spammer. Where are you? What's going on next?
We forgot to rally those two because I got sidetracked.
This guy here. Go ahead.
A3. So no.
Nope. Anti-tank battery.
Oh no.
He's like,
On a 6.
no, man. Game
They're
over,
shooting
man.
at us.
They're actually shooting back. You said the French wouldn't shoot back.
The stack you got selected there, yeah, move them to 2005. No, 2004. Might as well keep them down in the depression so they don't get shot at. The half track that's with the AA gun just south of, yeah, that one.
Yep.
He'll move to 1804.
Did he want to shoot first? Because this guy, I don't think this AA battery ever fired, or that assault gun. If he wants to maybe disperse that rifle platoon before your counterattack goes in?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I have written off that rifle as more or less taken. But I want him to be able to fire at the AA gun on the other side of the river next turn. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
he's got it. Well, next turn he'll have it, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I thought so. That was the idea behind actually moving him out of the wood.
No worries.
I think that's it for the Casbah movements.
Okay, I'll go down to... We got three small battles going on right now. Anything going on down here?
Yeah, the half track with the... or the... not the half track, the Jeep. Isn't it a Jeep that's in there with the scouts?
No, it's a half track.
No, it's half. The half track there will move to 27-16. And then the other scout group will they pay 2 to get into the woods, so they'll move to 27-18. The engineers will move to 27-18.
Well, the infantry can walk into the woods. They don't pay extra.
Okay, let's send them up into the woods.
Yeah, infantry pretty much just move too. The only thing that slows down infantry is swamp.
And
Actual water.
Yeah. The truck with the engineers will move one up and then move up behind the wood.
Oops. Like so.
Yeah, and then dismount. And then the truck can bugger off down the road.
Alright, well the truck moved to get there and then dismounted and then that's it for the truck's movement.
Okay, so I think that will be it.
Alright. Heading over to the south. Yeah, these two stewards probably have an appointment elsewhere.
Yes, certainly they seem to have well, we'll start with the tank destroyer.
The poor Fargo. What's he doing?
He'll go in one north. And then however far he can get up towards the battle.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He'll duck into the woods.
That sounds like a good idea. He doesn't seem like the most survivable
No, he's a soft-skinned unit with a defensive 2. But if he's in woods, he's not spotted, and it's impossible to overrun units in woods.
So these Sutton Stewart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He'll end up driving directly onto the French flag.
No one can take opportunity fire because they're either dispersed, in a depression, or out of range.
And the other one will join him.
That's the killer on those Stuarts. It isn't their firepower, it's their range. Well, my ranges are 2. Your ranges are 5. They're both 37mm guns, but some of those 37mm guns are from 1941. Some of them are from like 1921. So.
And I think that's it for movement.
Okay, we then go to cat attacks, of which there are many.
Oh, yes.
All right, especially over here at the Casbah. All right, so 10 to 1, even if you add 2 to the die roll because of my improved positions, the trucks are out of there. Okay, now here we have, you're going to put both of these stacks into this rifle platoon?
All 3 of those stacks.
Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, there's 3 of them. Okay, I thought he was going to attack somebody else. He has no one else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, there you go. Exactly 12. Almost like you planned it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. That's 2 to 1. Subtract 3 from the die roll. Add 2 to the die roll for my improved positions. 2 to 1. Subtract 1.
A 0.
A modified 0. Got him. So even with attacking, just for people in the chat, even outnumbered 7 to 1, decent French infantry in improved positions, 7 to 1, he only killed him on a 1, 2, or a 3. But he rolled, it sounds like a 1, which became a modified 0.
Yeah. And then we got the attack into the Casbah itself.
Oh, now this one, stand by. You're literally bayonet charging an actual castle. Again, for people in the chat who may not have been here earlier, this is literally what he's assaulting. This is the modern day restored Casbah. Casbah Medea. So, here we go. 6 versus 19. 1 to 3 odds. Subtract 1 from the die roll.
1.
1 becomes a 0 on 1 to 3 odds. If there was ever a time to roll a 1, it was now. 0. They are all dispersed.
The colonel is dispersed again.
So again, outnumbering them at least 3 to 1, because that's just a command section. There's a colonel, a couple of staff officers, and a radio. There is a full platoon of French infantry in there. Vichy, Moroccan. Let me get rid of these trucks. Nobody cares about trucks. Also, nope, we're not keeping track of French casualties anyway, because we're assuming they're going to be tabled. Okay. I think that's it for cat attacks.
I think it is, yeah.
Okay, French turn 4. Okay, my artillery phase, nothing. My turns are going to go really fast now. My artillery phase, nothing. My resolve artillery phase, nothing. My direct fire phase. I'm going to get them eventually. 5 to 3 is 1 to 1 odds. Subtract 1 from the die roll, and a double deal do it. That's just a fun phrase to say. A 3 becomes a 2 on the 1 to 1 table. He is smoked. Stacking bodies. I'm going to grind out an ugly draw just by costing the Americans too many casualties. Okay,
yeah.
that might be it for my direct fire. 'Cause I'm gonna try to rally this fool. 1, 2, or a 3. Fail. I'm surprised those half tracks didn't overrun them. All right, over here, my last bit of actual combat power.
Because there was two. No, he was dispersed by then. So yeah.
Okay, ready? Hotchkiss H39. Try to rally him. He does rally, but he's stuck. So keep an eye on me. Don't let me move or fire him. Hotchkiss number 2 fails. Hotchkiss H35 succeeds. Don't let me move or fire him. Okay. Now we go to movement. He has to stay back because he just rallied.
Yes. And then we got some opportunity fire.
Sadly for me, yes. Oof. I got cover for trees. I'm being desperate here. I'm just maybe double overrunning easy units, a half track. Oh, I can't overrun him. He's in woods. I can overrun the half track. He counts as a combat unit. But that's if I survive opportunity fire, which there is not a lot of, but enough. This guy can see me, that guy can see me. They're both within 2, they both double.
What about the steward?
Negative.
On the road?
The steward here has to shoot through this hex, and that's an elevation hex.
Okay, yeah.
This guy is shooting his hex side.
Just the 2 guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course he can. Now I do get a +1 for woods. However, it's if you fire both batteries, which I would definitely suggest.
Yes.
13 plus 2, or times 2 is 26. You want to engage one or both?
So it's 2 to 1 or
2 to 1, add 1.
5 to 1.
Yes.
Well, just shoot on 1.
Cool. 5 to 1, add 1 to die roll.
It becomes a 4.
Smoked.
Probably cost me the half track in there, but
Oh, better the half track than the. I keep forgetting. I can't. I can't overrun the anti-tank battery even if I wanted to because he's in woods. Okay.
And you got 1 more to move.
Actually, he's going to stay put. Although you still get opportunity fire on him because. Do I want to do that then? It doesn't matter. No matter what I do, I'm destroyed. Because, yeah, no matter what I do, I'm going to trigger opportunity fire, point blank opportunity fire. Because for a vehicle going up a slope, it does cost 2 points. That's illegal because I'm going up 2 elevations in 1 hex. Same here. I can only go 1, 2, 3. Any which way I go, I spent 2 movement points getting there. 2 is more than a quarter of 6. Instant opportunity fire, point blank, he's dead. If he's going to die brave. I'm trying an overrun on the steward right next to me. Now, even though I'm not spending a quarter of my movement in your line of sight, because I'm already adjacent to you, against opportunity fire, you always get opportunity. I'm sorry, against overrun, you always get opportunity fire.
Yes, so both of those 2 stewards will...
20 to 4, 5 to 1 odds.
A 3.
Smoked. Yeah, it looks like I just threw away a unit. There's literally nothing else I could do with him.
He was kind of stuck.
If I didn't fire him, he would just fire at me during his fire. Yeah, no matter what I did, he was dead. At least here, Rasmus might have rolled a 6, and maybe I could take 1 more steward with me.
Stuck in a hole. Literally stuck in a hole.
I did kind of send him down into the Valley of Death down there, but that's alright. Okay, so to wrap up, overrun. 5 against 3 is 1 to 1, becomes 2 to 1, subtract 2 from the die roll. 3 becomes a 1, smoked. American half track. That is another American wreck counter on the table.
And
Other movement. Nope. I already failed to rally him. So that is yet for the French turn. American turn 5. At the end of your turn, we never rolled that surrender thing, did we?
Oh, I can't remember.
I don't think we did.
It was a 3 anyway,
Okay.
so in that case...
Only one Vichy unit has laid down his arms so far. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we're beginning American turn 5.
Yeah.
Start by plotting artillery.
It's been plotted.
The Casbah is holding on by its fingernails. I never tried to rally those two, did I?
Oh no.
Headquarters unit? No. Platoon? Yes.
Oh.
The colonel's hiding under a table, drinking coffee. Sacre bleu, it can't be. Kesselring told me he would support us. Damn you Germans, I know we shouldn't have trusted you. He's doing the Captain Stransky under the desk. Where are my aircraft? Where are my tanks? You do the Vichy French, you don't have that stuff. Alright,
Where's my legions?
yeah. Paris, give me back my legions. Alright, so we are, okay, you plotted your artillery. Let's resolve your last turn's artillery.
Yes, first gun battery from the Savannah goes to the top one that were pinned.
The top, which?
The top of the tanks.
Oh, okay. So that is 20 only one battery. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10 to 4 is 2 to 1 odds.
2.
Smoked him. A 6-inch shell from the Navy just landed on the roof of that tank.
It can't all be depth charges, and the other one go to the other one that couldn't move.
Cool. So that is again 4 to 1. No, make that 2 to 1. However, you get to subtract 1 from the die roll.
3, so become a 2.
It's 4 to 1. He smoked. Yeah, cruisers. They only fire.
No. That one. It's the one beneath it.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
And it's not. It's not -1, so it might just be dispersed.
Actually, if it's the one down here, you lost sight of it because nobody else can spot him.
Oh, yeah.
So you did have someone there. It was this guy. So it was legal to call in, but now nobody can actually see him. He's behind the woods there, behind the ridge there, behind the ridge. Roll a d6 to see if it drifts or scatters.
A 6.
It completely dissipates.
Yeah.
So 1 or 2 it lands where it's supposed to. 3, 4, or 5 it scatters 1 hex. 6 it just vanishes. It's what happens when you lose sight of a target halfway through a fire mission.
Yes.
Okay, so that wraps up.
And then we got the mortars on the Casbah.
Okay. Hey, it might kill that headquarters unit.
My harassment fire.
1 to 3. Let me do the math right. 1 to 3. Add 2, subtract 1. So add 1. Add 1 on 1 to 3.
A 7.
Okay, never mind. So add 2 on another 1 to 3. This is for the rifle platoon.
Another 7. No,
Right.
that becomes an 8. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So those
2
like
6s in a row.
Smoke shells. A good time to roll 6s because the odds of actually doing anything there are really remote.
As I said, that was just harassment fire, really.
All right, so then we go to your direct fire.
Direct fire. We got the guy up on the ridge shooting back at UAE.
5 stays at 5 because it's greater than half range. Nevertheless, 5 to 2, add 1 to the die roll for my wooden buildings. 2 to 1, add 1.
7.
Oh no, 3 6s. The mark of the beast. All right. I'm sure you've got some more direct fire over here to the south. Yeah, the map's on its side, everybody. So we got
Yes.
priests, we got toad 75s, we got 50 cals.
Yeah. The toads. Let's see. What can actually see something? Nobody can see the two down in the depression that haven't taken opportunity fire yet.
Nobody can see him. Yeah, exactly. This guy's vulnerable as shit. Lots of people can see him.
So in his case, we'll put the half track with along with the priest. No,
Okay.
the half track that's in there with the priest and the two toad 75s,
Alright,
not
so-
the priest itself.
Not the priest. All right, so all your 75s, towed and self-propelled. We got a
okay.
grand total of
Yes.
21, becomes 10.5, becomes 11, goes round up. 11 to 5 is 2 to 1 odds. Subtract 1 from the die roll.
It becomes a 0.
He smoked. Killed him on like a 5 or less, I think. Because you only need a double D, and you're subtracting 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's pretty much shot up. All right.
The,
And that big French counterattack, it withered pretty fast.
the priest itself will shoot at the Caspar.
Okay, so that is legal because that other attack was in indirect fire. Okay, so my question to you is: are you firing on one unit or at both units?
Both units.
Okay, so it's 13 versus 13, 1 to 1 odds. Add 1 to the die roll.
A 2 become a 3.
2 becomes a 3 at 1 to 1 odds. I think you got him. 1 to 1 odds. You rolled a 3.
Good
Yeah.
old double D.
It's subtract 2. I'm sorry, it's add 2 for the fortress, subtract 1 for being dispersed, so net, add 1, you roll the natural 2, becomes the 3 on 1 to 1. Yeah. The reason it's 1 to 1, guys, in the chat is he gets to add 10 to his defense because he's in a fort. Didn't help him, though. So the colonel's finally smoked. The Vichy now have to make an instant morale check. Because that was their headquarters unit. See if they drop from a C to a D. They do, because they technically fail the rally check. So when you lose your headquarters unit, this is a house rule, by the way. When you lose your command unit, you roll against whatever your unit's morale is. In this case, it's a C, so I needed to roll a 1, 2, or a 3. I rolled a 4. If you fail that roll, which I just did, you reduce 1 morale step. So the French units are now considered morale D. They're just as bad as you.
Hey.
We have 2 D-class armies just hacking at each other, just blind conscripts going, you die. No, you die first. Okay, meanwhile, the 13 also affects this 16 at 1 to 2 odds, add 2 to the die roll.
Add 2, roll a 2, become a 4.
4 on 1 to 2 odds does nothing. That thick castle stone wall laughs at your priests. We're not going down. We're surrounded by like 400 American infantry. We're going down hard. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about the Alamo, man. That's the French Alamo right there. Jesus Christ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1,000 people. 20 times 50 is 1,000. Here's another 150. There's another 50. We're up to like, I literally lost count. We're up to like almost 1,500 guys. Coming at 50 men. So, it's pour the meat time, baby. Alright, I don't know if there's more direct fire, but let me know if you see any.
The airplanes that's on the field already.
Yep. Those 2 bombers are... Oh, also your... Well, first of all, you have 2 bombers left. And then your planes that are already on the table also get to shoot their machine guns.
Yeah. And they will put all 5 of the ones that's already on the table.
There's only 4 on the table.
All 4 that's already on the table in that case.
Yep.
Will fly towards that dispersed unit.
Yeah, they're good at this. They're good at like carrying, like picking off wounded units. Where is the other one? They're supposed to have 4.
There's one on the other side of it, all the way out.
Oh, that's right.
Almost, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, the other two are still carrying ordnance. By the way, you can bring them in there and just use their machine guns. You don't have to drop their ordnance on their first attack. That is allowed.
Yeah.
Because that would actually get you up to the next odds column.
Okay, well, we might as well do that in that case.
You just declare that you're not firing you're not dropping your bombs, and this is one of their 4 machine gun attacks. So you got 6 units, that becomes 12. 12 to 6 is 2-to-1 odds. Subtract 1 from the die roll. A double deal do it. You
rolled a 3 because it came a 2.
As long as you don't roll a 6. A 6 reduces to a 5. He survives that, but once you don't roll a 6, he's smoked. That was just a shit ton of machine gun fire. Oh no! Move that map down, or that flag down, because that unit's annihilated up there. Okay. Now, okay, I think that's it for direct fire and air phase. Let's try to rally your dispersed units. This rifle platoon way back here.
No.
This rifle platoon in here.
Yes, I won.
Hey. He's got literally 1,000 guys around him going in there with him, so he got brave.
But the first one, the first shot of the game dispersed him, and he seems to have been dispersed ever since.
That's it, man. I'm done. I did my part. He's like a green conscript. He's sitting down on a meter. I'm quiet quitting, is what he says.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So now is the window for discontent. Let's see. We got the 2 stewards that are together.
Yep.
They can't do what I wanted them to do because you can't overrun in a forest.
You can overrun the guys on the bottom.
Yeah. So they'll go straight up and try to overrun the guys in the.
Or I would suggest they do 1, 2. That way, this guy minimizes a little bit. He no longer doubles.
Yeah.
If you send him right to 2010, it's going to be 2 doubles.
Yeah.
All right, so that's.
And I'll take them in 1 by 1.
Okay, so first I got. I'll just go do 1 then. 10 plus 5 is 15 on 5, 3 to 1. Let's take 1 more with us. Do it. Hell no. I mean, he's dispersed, but. Okay, that was both these guys' opportunity.
Yeah, and then the 2 other stewards.
Okay.
Will
overrun out of 108.
Yeah.
All right, so the overruns happen during the movement phase, so you don't have to wait to the end of the turn like you do with cat attacks. So 15 to 5 is 3 to 1. Oh crap, I've been forgetting to do this. 3 to 1 becomes 4 to 1, subtract 2 from the die roll. Yeah, he's the hell smoked.
On a 2, so.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to roll. Well, a 7 would miss. You'd have to roll a natural 7, which is, of course, not
hard to do on a d6. Yeah.
All right, I'm sure you've got some movement and cat attacks over here.
Yeah. The 2307 will move straight up.
Apologies. One thing, we're going through the turns kind of quick now. We may have forgotten. He gets to shoot at the anti-aircraft gun again. The T-30 Technical in 1804. He shot last time and missed. I shot at the anti-tank gun and hit. Now he gets to shoot again on turn 5.
I thought I already shot him.
Okay. I don't remember. I thought you had.
I'm 90% sure I shot him. So.
Okay. Let's just.
Thank you for the offer, but no. Yeah, that stack we can take that one, and then the one in 2307 will go north.
Cool. Send in some fresh guys as long as there's an engineer in there. Okay. Oh, for God's sake, dude, are you serious right now? Oh, I joined them together. I didn't mean to do that. Doesn't matter. Okay. Opportunity fire is kind of pointless. Also, he just rallied. Oh, opportunity fire is borrowed against your next turn. It's kind of pointless. I'm going to shoot at the machine gun section. 1 to 2 odds. I have to add 2 to the die roll. I think I need a 1 to do anything. A 3. Never mind. All right, now he's fired. No other opportunity fire was actually available. Well, technically, I could have taken 10 points. That doubles like half range. But he's also into my approved positions. All right, he's going to take opportunity fire. 10 to 6, 1 to 1. Oh god, I need to roll a 1 or a 2 to do anything. Nope. Shit, no. Yeah, the French are running out of ammunition, apparently. Okay. Oh god, this cat attack's going to be awesome.
And then we're going to go down to the south.
Alright, let's do that first. Cat attacks are the end of the turn. Alright, cool. What's up down here?
Because the scouts, one of the scouts will move into 2918. It's probably stupid, but...
well, you have to spot them sooner or later.
Yeah.
And I get a grand total of 2 points I can put at you. 2 points versus 3 is still only 1 to 2. And you know what? Even if I miss, or even if I hit, they're spotted. Because you've got Overwatch elements in place. Yep. So actually, well done. 2 on 1 to 2 odds, he is dispersed.
And then we'll send in the other scout. He'll go into the through that field and into the village.
Like down here?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
And the engineers will go along with him.
All right. These guys are now spotted because there's somebody adjacent to them.
And
so that whole front line is now spotted.
Yep. The half tracks will meet up in the wooden hex 2819.
2819.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, cool.
And the half track. No, that's just the truck.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just a truck. Never mind. I thought it was a half track.
There's an empty half track in this hex.
Yeah, it's the try to zoom in when we're good down there.
All right.
All of my cat attacks should be set up now.
Cool. Let's go ahead and start with the little one on the bottom. All right, this one's actually not legal. I don't think.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think. And here's, yeah. So you've got a grand total of 2 points versus 10. That's 1 to 5.
Yeah. But
you got them spotted, and you're going to start calling in artillery on them.
And aircrafts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now that you didn't have to use up your depth charges, just kidding. On the tanks. All right, so we have a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 versus 16. It's still 1 to 2. However, you get to subtract 3 from the die roll, add 2 to the die roll. 1 to 2, subtract 1 from the die roll.
At 3 becomes a 2.
1 to 2 is dispersed. And again, he's morale D now, so he will probably not rally as well, and I'm sure there's artillery coming in on. Oh, but you see how hard it is to take these forts. It's turn 6 now, and he's still holding on. All right. Roll for your surrender unit.
A 6.
All right, someone surrenders. Who do I want to go away now? Go away now. This guy goes away now. took his last shot. Now he's. Oh, I forgot you were on our side. He comes out with a bottle of wine. We didn't mean it. We're sorry.
For your troops, that's probably the best one to remove.
Yeah, well, that's the Vichy player gets the pick.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was gonna pick this tank just out of realism because he's like beyond fucked, but I'm hoping he might take a poke at one more. It's literally 1-to-1. I have to add. I can't kill him.
And you would need to run up and hit the other one because that one is in the wood.
Well, I wasn't gonna overrun him. I was just gonna take a shot at him.
Oh well, yeah.
But I can't kill him because he's got wood cover. Okay, so speaking of which, we're now on the French turn 5. No artillery. We go straight to direct fire. I've got one tank who took opportunity fire. Never mind. That whole plan was kind of pointless. My whole army up here took opportunity fire and is now pinned down. So never mind about that. This whole army took opportunity fire. Except for this guy. Those are wooden buildings. I'll go ahead and he did not take opportunity fire. He'll take a shot now. 1 to 3. I have to add 1 to the die roll. I don't think I can do. I think I have to roll like a 1. Is that even worth it? 1 to 3. Add 1. I have to literally roll a 1. Wrong die roll. A 1. I'm glad I turned the camera on for that. Disperse them. Scouts. Alright. That's it. The French turn's going to get wicked fast now. Because, I'll try to rally these dudes over here. Again, D-class morale now, so I need a 1 or a 2. 4, he fails. Surprise, surprise. No one down here was dispersed. Nope.
No.
Alright, that I think wraps up the French turn. Oh, yeah, he took opportunity fire. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I already got rid of that. Get rid of this. So we don't lose track of what's going on. Alright, cool. Turn 6. The clock is running out.
Yep.
The French are technically still winning.
So plot some artillery. I don't have an awful amount of targets left, but...
Jen says, oh yeah, but the targets you have left are pretty important.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta empty out that gas bomb. Yeah, clearly. Jen Lemon says, 2 D-class armies. Is that Stormtroopers versus Star Trek red shirts? It's a good joke. I get it. Jen, you win joke of the day so far. I think they would die of old age first in that matchup. Yeah, there's that old joke. Did you hear about the shootout between Star Trek and the Stormtroopers and the red shirts? The Stormtroopers all missed and the red shirts died anyway.
Exactly. Let's see. Yes, that's been plotted.
Cool. Last turn's artillery.
Last turn's artillery is the Savannah is opening up on the Casbah along with the mortars.
Alright, so I got 26 total points versus 16. That's still 1-to-1. Add 1 to the die roll.
But you're dispersed, so...
Yep. But double D will do it.
Add 1 to the die roll, so 3.
3 on the 1-to-1 table. That's it. You smoked.
I didn't get to do the big cat attack.
You did the big cat attack. You just didn't kill him.
And it failed.
I think you pinned him down. Alright, other... Yeah. Okay, that's it for off-board artillery. On-board artillery.
Nothing but plotted, so now it's direct fire, or it's the aircrafts.
Oh yeah, technically aircraft go next. Yep.
Okay.
Alright, so you got 2 that still have 20-point bombs. The entire French army is now down to 5 counters.
Yeah. The 2 that still got bombs will each take 2 that, let's see. We'll go... Oh, choices.
Yep, it's harder than it looks. Remember, all those guys are in concrete buildings.
Well, and then 5, so there's 4 to 1.
Well, they're in concrete buildings, so it would be 10. So if you put
yep.
both of them on one... Oh yeah, you're right, it would be 40 to 10. Sorry. You're right.
Yeah, so we'll put them on the one under the spotted sign.
Alright. 2 flights of Dauntlesses go in with their 500-pound bombs. It doesn't matter, because they're outside of 10 hexes of the actual flag position. So we have a grand total of 40 versus 10. 4 to 1, add 1 to the die roll.
A 1 becomes 2.
Smoked.
The Navy actually did something.
Now, the other guys can still do machine gun attacks if they want.
We might as well do a machine gun run on the top one.
Okay. That's a grand total of 8 points versus 9. 1 to 2, add 1 to the die roll. You might disperse them.
6.
Nope. Not with a 6. The other thing is to go after that flag gun, which would be easier to kill, but you'd have to take flag fire.
Yep.
Alright. So now we go to direct fire.
And I think the only one that can see the flag gun is the half. Yeah, that one.
2 to 1, add 1 to the die roll.
A 6.
He's just like literally flying the middle finger out one of those windows. You've been shooting at me all day, you lump of shit. You can't hit anything. I'm standing in this window. I'm literally the broadside of a barn, and you still can't hit me.
Yep. Now comes the big question.
Yep.
The line of sight from the priest to the city down in the south.
Okay. Let me see. I don't know. You're on high ground, so it's longer than. No.
No, the first elevation there would block it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yep.
So they don't get to shoot
now,
at that.
Now they don't see anything. Yeah. Well, actually, no, they don't get to see anything. But that means that they can take a fire mission.
Sorry, somebody popped in with a quick message. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can fire indirect next turn, but.
Yep.
And the same with the totes. So.
Now, these 3 platoons do have direct line of sight on that last platoon of French armor.
That was what I were about to go to next, yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, and they're all within 2 hexes, and you have a range more than 3, so you all double. Oh, God. 30 to 5 is 6 to 1. You do have to add 1 to the die roll because I'm in woods.
It becomes a 2.
Nope. That's it for the French armor. Unsurprising.
Well, they did blow up a couple American.
Oh yeah, that was like 3 units at least. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's 4 units, or maybe 3. 2
yep.
points apiece. We'll take it.
That's it for the indirect fire.
Okay, let's try to rally your Stuarts.
Nope.
Okay, Stuarts do not rally.
The guys on top that've been out all game. Nope.
The beach party continues.
The top scout. Nope.
Bottom scout.
Bottom scout. Yes, a 2.
Nice. He does
I
rally.
rallied something.
Yeah, these are 2 inexperienced and under-equipped, badly trained armies who actually don't want to fight each other. So this is a half-hearted battle at best. Doesn't look like it, especially up at the Casbah.
Well, amateurs do a lot more damage than...
Yeah, but it's usually to themselves.
Yep. Time for some movement.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, Lordy. All right, where do you want to start?
Around the Casbah, we'll move machine gun section into the Casbah. Is there any other machine gun sections within movement range of it? Yeah, and then the one up north of the lighthouse. Yeah, because he's on road.
He's on road, but the road is full. So
Okay,
that costs him half a point. The road movement rate is you don't get the road movement rate
yep.
if there's 2 units in the hex. So that hex only has 1 because there's a red counter in there. So he's fine on that one. That costs him half a point. Moving into that hex would cost him 1.5 points.
Okay,
he has to basically get off the road because the road is clogged up by all these other units.
Yes, so we'll send one of that rifle platoon you're on. Send that in.
Okay.
Hey, now we can shoot across the river.
Here you go. Yep, and once you're south of that line, you got small arms fire on that AA gun. Rasmus has a hard-on for that 25mm. He can't get it.
Oh, yeah.
I want that guy dead. He killed one of my units.
I think he might be in trouble this next turn.
Yeah, there's a lot of 30 caliber coming his way next turn. A lot of 30-06. That's not going to be pretty.
Well, and spoiler alert, the Savannah.
No. All right, so these these Stuarts do get split moving fire because Americans have radios.
Up on the road and down towards the city.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2. Sorry, tracked vehicles. 3. Oh, hold on. 1. Let me do it fair. 1, 2, 3. Clogged up with wrecks. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. These guys were already on the road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This guy is still not rallied.
But yeah, the movement of them Stuarts.
They're nice. 11 is nice. Anything over once you get to 9, it's great because 9 gives you 3 free points without opportunity fire. Most units in this era have a movement rate of 8, so you move 2 and then you take opportunity fire. You have to take 3 with a movement rate of 9 to exceed 1/4 of your movement. So that 1 extra point of opportunity fire makes a huge bit of difference.
The priest.
Okay.
If he moves down on the tip of that other ridge,
he'll be able to see. He'll be able to see a lot. He'll be able to see this guy.
Yeah, so he'll move
not be
down
able
there.
to see the objective axe. He'll be able to see this guy.
No, I knew that, but
Okay.
And his follower.
His little brother there.
Yep.
All right.
And then we go down to the bottom part. The engineers, they weren't suppressed, didn't rally, so they can move in there.
I would move in some other stuff as well, because, yeah, that's a very important move you just made. And I can, well, it's also concrete buildings, so maybe not. 3 points against 11.
And along with him, we'll send in the steward.
There you go. Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. Because now you've got eyes on the objective X.
Yes.
Hopefully Savannah.
And we might as well take the half-track that were with the steward.
Cool.
Along with us.
All right, so it's kind of pointless.
And
go ahead.
And the jeep and the other half-track will join the scouts. No, actually, never mind. The jeep will go for to the airfield.
Oh yeah,
objective.
I totally forgot about that hex. Okay, so that's the best way to get there. You don't want to get too close to that infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. He'll reach it next turn.
Yep. Have to take that one as well. Slight hiccup on the line, so. But I think it's your turn.
Oh, we may have lost the stream. The stream may have frozen.
Okay.
Oh, no, we're back. That was weird. Yeah, we may have lost the stream for a second, but it seems to have recovered. Okay, let's wrap this up because it looks like we've lost almost our whole audience. I don't blame them. We've been up for 3.5 hours, including a crash. So we're just about to the end. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It is now French turn 6. Oh, what am I going to do with my turn? I don't know. I'm going to take one more shot at that. Oh, wait, I can't. Oh, wait, I got plenty more targets. Because these guys have been doing cat attacks all over the place. I can't shoot at the guys in the Casbah because they haven't fired out of that hex yet, and it's technically a urban hex. But there have been plenty of people cat attacking and shooting out of this hex. So I can take that. 10 points versus 4. Hell no, I'm taking these guys. 10 points.
They haven't shot out of that hex.
They cat attacked. Okay, I'll take. Technically, they cat attacked into the hex, but you know what? That's an improved position hex. It's almost as bad. In fact, it's worse.
They cat attacked into the hex and then they moved into the hex. So yeah, I guess I actually.
They're all terrible choices. It doesn't matter because I'm gonna miss anyway. 10 to 6, 1-to-1 odds. Add 1 to the die roll. 4 becomes a 5. Add 1-to-1. That's no effect. That was literally my 1 unit. Stream has recovered. No more spot. A little stutter, but it came back up on its own. Okay, cool. Thanks, Chen. I literally have been annihilated over to the south. Falls back 1 hex. Okay, that's literally it. My turn is like beyond shitty at this point.
Yep.
Cool. Turn 7.
New artillery slaughtered.
Yep, I hope so. Alright, so old artillery, resolve.
Everything went into the AA.
26 points, that's both batteries of Savannah and both mortar positions?
And both told howitzers.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because there's nothing else for them to shoot at, really. At least not this turn. Alright, so I grant that's 10 plus 20 plus 20. Holy crap. 60 points. That's 30-to-1 odds. Add 1 to the die roll for woods and for buildings. Yep, it took him a while, but once that AA gun finally went out, he went out like in a mushroom cloud. Get wrecked, fool! Alright, that's it for him.
Direct fire can I see that infantry unit that just pulled back, or they not spotted anymore?
He pulled back to. That's why he pulled back.
Yes.
To not.
So all of the aircraft will go on the one in the objective.
Okay, that's a grand total of 6. So yeah, so 12 points versus 11. 1-to-1 odds. Add 1 to the battle.
If it's should I shoot the guys next to it at the same time?
Okay.
All direct fire need to be declared at the same time.
No, because it's the aircraft phase. The aircraft are in the phase.
Aircraft.
Yep.
Yeah. So, fine.
All right.
A 4.
A 4 becomes a 5. No effect on the 1-to-1 table. So it's your 12 versus my 11. I get 5 more for the concrete buildings. Yeah. So this guy is spotted. This guy is not.
And then the field next to the objective will put everything they got into it.
Okay, now we're in direct fire phase. Yes, you do get to shoot again at this. At the same target. No worries. That is legal. In fact, it's encouraged.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, good question. 1, 2, 3, and 3 more is 6. 6 against 12. 6 against 11, technically. 1-to-2 odds. Add 1 to the die roll.
Rolled at 2, become a 3.
I think he's dispersed. Yeah, 3, barely. Got him pinned down. Good shooting, Tex. Okay.
And then movement.
Yep.
The Jeep will take the objective.
Yay.
And the stewards will move down the road as fast as they can.
Where do they want to wind up at?
As close to the objective as possible.
Clunk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they do that with not even coming out of second gear. Stewards are insanely fast.
Got to love a steward when it comes to movement. Not firepower, but movement.
Yeah, now, you know what other tank has a move speed of 11 in this game? A T-34-85. And tell me the Russians aren't like my favorite faction to play. Late war Russians, man. Oh, they're great. Then you come to a JS2 and you're like, oh, this thing only has a movement rate of 8? What is this piece of shit? Like, dude, it's a JS2, man. It's got a 122 millimeter main gun. They have to load the ammo in 2 parts. That's how big the friggin' gun is.
Rally for the steward. I know it's a bit...
yeah. Go for it. A 1 or a 2?
On a 1.
Hey, he does rally. He knows
and
they're
a
about...
rally for...
Go ahead.
Rally for the guy that never rallies on a 4.
Nope. Okay, the French turn.
And,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And this rally for the scouts.
Rally for the scouts, then don't forget the surrender phase.
And the surrender. A and 3.
The scouts do not rally.
I know.
Okay.
And surrender on a 5.
Yep, someone surrenders. I choose. I see I have 2 units. Which one should I pick? Oh, my whole army is 2 units and I just lost half of it. These guys are like, yeah, we're done. Which is important because what's going to happen is artillery was going to land there and then I was going to try and move a guy in there just to be cheesy at the very end, but that ain't happening now. All right, so...
That's why I put so much firepower down there with 4 stews.
French turn 7. I have 1 unit in my entire army and he's dispersed. At morale 6. Or morale D. I'm going to try to rally him. 4, I fail. So my entire army is now 1 unit who's suppressed on morale D. It literally doesn't get worse than that. That's as close as you can get to being tabled, legally and mathematically, without being actually tabled. Oh, by the way, this is out of here. Oh, no! Okay, hey, at least I lasted to the last turn.
Yep.
Turn 8. I'm kind of doing the score in my head. This is going to be close. Turn 8.
all artillery. For the first time, the priest will actually join into the.
Okay, let's add it up because this is going to be tougher than it sounds. All right, so Savannah. Savannah's aft batteries. Priest. The T-19s. The mortars can't reach. The two towed batteries can reach. 74 total points divided by 11. It is 6-1. Add 1 to the die roll, subtract 1 from the die roll. You add 1 for the buildings, you subtract 1 because he's dispersed. Becomes no modifier. On 6-1, you have to roll a 6 or less to kill.
A 1.
He's hell smoked. Boom.
If you've got to do it properly.
And that is game. The French are now tabled. The Americans have 25 points worth of objective hexes. I have no points worth of objective hexes. I get 2 points per American kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Score is 25-10. American victory. Right. I only lost by 5. And I lasted till the last turn. Nice. I love close games.
That was fun.
I love close games.
That was fun.
Sweet. We had a few technical difficulties, but thanks for sticking with us there, James. I definitely appreciate it. Shakos and Sprues. Super appreciate it, but we finally made it. Took us almost 4 hours, although some of that was technical problems with our internet service. But we got there. An 8-turn Panzer Leader game. We come up with a nice close result. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 20. There's nothing hiding up here in the ocean or anything. No, okay, 20 to 25. Against 5 points for an American objective taken. He owns all 5. And 2 points for every American unit eliminated. 20 to 25. American victory on the last turn of the game. Technically in the impulse phase, the movement phase. So not quite the bottom of the 8th, but close. Awesome.
And I got to blow up motorbikes using a depth charge.
That's going down in the history books, man. You had to blow up French motorcycles with a depth charge. Everyone put that on your resume.
Almost as good as when you overran the technical with the.
I overran a PLO technical with my Israeli Zelda. Crazy stuff happens. We had a game once, and it was just a weird conflux of events. I can't remember all the details, but I remember at the time I added it up. It was like this unit had to do this and fail when only a 6 would fail. Sure enough, he failed. So 1 to 6. Then he something he had to fail a rally. Another 6. So now it's 1 to 36, and so on and so forth. You actually kind of go through. It turned out to be like 1 to 650 something. I can't remember what the actual number was. But the end result was through just a freakish chain of the British had every single die roll perfect, and the Germans lost every single die roll in the perfect order. A Class D Home Guard, this is a Sea Lion game, guys on bicycles overran and completely destroyed an entire platoon of elite German Fallschirmjägers with pitchforks and brooms. But somehow it worked. I don't know. All right, guys, thanks very much, everybody, for hanging with us. If you're still with us, we totally appreciate it. Again, apologies for the stream hang-up. This is probably now going to be up on the site or on the YouTube channel in 2 parts. Sorry about that. So we're going to wind up with 2 streams instead of 1. Hey, here you go. Call it a
2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, call it a bonus stream. But that was Operation Torch 80 years ago this weekend. So thanks very much, everybody. Thanks very much, Rasmus, for coming out and helping us out with some more content. Always.
Thank you.
We'll be running another game hopefully next week. So anybody who ever wants to try one of these games out, let us know. They're not all 4 hours, I promise. In fact, we only do Panzer Leader like once a month or so because people get tired.
They can easily become 8 hours, yeah.
Oh, I've had 25-hour Panzer Leader games. It's like not even breaking a sweat. We try not to do those on stream, but I guess reasons. But cool. Thanks very much, everybody. This is a Risk Any Gym with the Sit Rep Podcast. We are rounds complete. Tango Mike, as always, for listening, and we'll be in touch very soon. Take care, everybody, and thanks again.
Thank you.